sake. That's the perfect start.
I was literally just about to be like, hey, did you remember that you muted the mics? But it's been a while since we've, been here.
Such a zoomer. What's amazing about that is that the audio mutes itself, but I said, oh shit, because of something else. And Danae, not that I'm going to blame her, Danae said, I think they can hear you. So I manually muted us as well.
Yes, Ian is live at my house. We have been working
Hi, everyone.
For weeks to completely redo my basement into a completely new space where we can so it's very exciting. Welcome.
It is so exciting. It took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to decide
put music on
the order of the shelves. Oh, I can get some TNG, some engine room stuff going on.
I'll put some music on.
There we go. Let's turn that up.
Guys, we have not been able.
This has been wild. Hang on.
We're so excited. We're going to do everything all right now.
So what I was saying when I was muted was, we're back. Yay. It's been a while.
Yeah. So we're turning if you're talking about the comments, there's this little box.
That's new.
That we're trying out. It's in beta testing. So if it annoys the shit out of you guys, let me know.
Oh, it's going to annoy the shit out of me because look what it does. Look what it does to my visuals.
I told you I could turn it on.
But it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Ooh, look at that.
That is actually the look that I just gave you. I was like this. It's going to be weird because I can actually see him. So I'm literally going to just be talking that way.
I'm here now. Hi. You don't usually see my pants.
You don't usually see my pants.
Hello. Oh, hello. My desk moved.
Yeah, we've been working hard. Yes, Back to the Future, Slab, because that's one of Ian's favorite films of all time.
Yeah. This is an area that's going to shift and change, but I didn't want it to be naked, and we ran out of time. Put more shelving up. So it's going to be that poster. It might be the motion picture. It might be a whole variety of posters that I can put up and change.
Check it out. Those shelves. We have been painting, assembling desks, doing sound checks, moving equipment, trying to figure out lighting, doing so much
for 4 weeks.
Yes. And one of the final things was how are we going to hang the ships? And we're trying out these kind of see-through shelf things. What do you guys think?
Yes, please, David. Yes. I really like it because it gives the illusion that they're actually floating. There were some wooden options as well, but I really like the really perspex, just see-throughness, all of it, so we can see the whole ship. And I might be able to do some lighting stuff as well.
Don't destroy the illusion. You can't come over here.
I'm so sorry. I did. We could have maybe kept that going, and that we decided to pick the same paint for Unity, and then one day we would accidentally ruin the illusion.
Yes.
And I've got to stop looking over there because you're on my screen.
I should get one of those little pokey sticks and just point over and then just try to.
That would not. Wait, hang on. Hang on. Here we go.
Hi, Pojo.
You
fucker. Jeez, Lapete. Let's not start that, because who has the ships on the wall that I will accidentally hit?
Well, you're right. How long before Ian flails just a little too hard in excitement and knocks over his ship?
Okay, you do have a little bit
gonna happen
of room. I was watching.
I do have a little. Can I?
You've got room. That's a really good point, though. We need to be very careful.
Yes, especially when shit like episode 2 happens. Which, for clarity, somebody mentioned earlier that I mentioned something from the wrong episode. We are doing both episodes today. So I know the title says Hegemony Part 2. We're doing Hegemony Part 2 and Wedding Bell Blues somehow today.
Yeah, definitely an R-rated show. You are watching an R-rated show right now, and we're going to get started. We're going to be reviewing, as he just was mentioning, episodes 1 and 2 of Strange New Worlds, which has returned. Here in the kind of the beginning stages of this show, obviously we're talking straight to you. When the recording of the podcast officially starts, we'll just try to keep it succinct and obviously reference your comments as we're talking about each section. We've got a lot to get through today, however, and I'm already so distracted.
Sarah was pointing out my haircut, my pants, and the Gatorade that I'm drinking.
Trousers.
America. Wait.
You said pants.
I meant trousers that time, though. Anyway, Sarah was making the point that America is changing me, and perhaps that is true.
Oh my God.
Shit.
One of us.
And these aren't trousers or pants. They're shorts. Tactical shorts.
What's really great is how much of an influence you've been to my child already, and she's starting to call them trousers.
Yes, and she said that's rubbish earlier.
She did. That's
rubbish. That was rubbish.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
Yeah, it is. It's very American.
No, they're not. They're green.
Super
they're
American.
tactical green.
Tactical green. That's American.
There we go.
We hope you guys have had a lovely break. Obviously, as we've said, we've been busy trying to get things kind of ready with Ian moving in to the US. And we're really excited because we feel like even though there's always things to tweak, like even just before the show started, I thought maybe I could have Ian hang one more thing on the wall.
Oh, what was it going to be?
I was thinking about, I have these really cool 1950s, like solid lamps that I thought would be really cool to have like a couple maybe like peeking their head down somewhere. But
cool. The plant was the final edition and it really finishes it off.
Yeah.
I feel like you brought that down here just so that you could feel better about buying another one for upstairs.
I haven't purchased a plant, sir.
So long.
And so long. Yes, Josh, it's a lot. But anyway, we're really excited because as if you guys listened to last Saturday's episode, you'll kind of know that there's a lot that's about to be able to shift now that we have our studio, I would say 70% done.
Yeah, good amount of the way done. It's really this way, other side. This side I want to do some more stuff with and some lighting stuff we want to play with, but it's most of the way there.
It is. We're really, really getting close. And we've got some really exciting ideas. We'll see what kind of comes to fruition. But the most important things have been set up first, which is obviously our ability to come back and do this with you today. So we got our camera set up and our mic set up and trying to get everything figured out. So as always, please give us your feedback. So if our volumes are a little bit wonky or strange, we want to make sure you guys can hear us and have a good time watching the show.
The Saturday episode was a pre-season preamble to kind of, we knew that we'd get to chatting a lot in the actual intro of the episode. So we kind of took all of that chat and released it on Saturday instead. So like, this is what we've been doing over the last 3 months. Here's some Star Trek news as well. We talked about Strange New Worlds being resolved at season 5. So yeah, that should be in all of the
We didn't even come close to what I was thinking that show was going to be, because a 3-month catch up would be a several hour long show.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But what we decided to do was keep it very succinct for the podcast feed. And then we decided that we're going to start releasing content more personally over on a new space.
There we are.
We gave you guys the link on Saturday, but little did we know that Patreon has to review your page. So Ian and I are going to be releasing more content, more like personal stories, animal stories, stories about how things are going in the studio, getting everything set up. So we've got ideas for 3D printing. Like Ian has a 3D printer. And so I am trying to like make one of our first things that we do, the Derper Prize. So just personal stuff is all going to be over there. So I highly encourage you to go check it out. It's patreon.com/Ian and Danae. There is some audio waiting there for you guys that I think you'll enjoy. So
yeah. Also, it wasn't a Patreon only thing. It did go into all of the pod feeds, which is strange. Slab, that you didn't get it. Do you use Pocket Casts by chance? That might be slightly glitchy.
Oh no, we didn't put the Saturday into the Patreon feed.
No, I mean into the regular Captain's Pod feed. Like it wasn't Patreon only, so anybody with the Captain's Pod feed should have got that episode. So it's Overcast. I'll have a look at Overcast and see what they're playing at. Sorry, Slab. I can just send you the audio via Discord as well.
Thank you, Wandering. Yes, Sci-Fi Brony, you are correct. I have decided to continue to avoid upgrading my mic arm.
It actually continued to upgrade. It actually snapped during the beginning of that audio. It just went boing.
It had lost its elasticity so terribly that when I kind of went to just barely touch it, the whole thing like came apart. So I had to get, a brand new rubber band to keep it together. But I'm holding off on so many things because I've wanted to get this set up sort of a little bit closer to what I want. And I'm sure you guys have things in your life where you don't want to like pull the trigger on something just yet until XYZ comes into place. Mm-hmm. But it's really exciting because now now that we're doing this, I'm going to get a better understanding of what I kind of do and do not want to do.
Yeah.
And this will impact other streaming. So just real quick before we get started, we do plan to do interesting streams like Baldur's Gate, Minecraft, and other things. Yes, some 3D printing might happen, although I personally do not like 3D printing cams because I don't get it. But there are some really great sites on Twitch that you can watch really cool things being made. So maybe we'll join the 3D printing community or something, and then you can watch that. But I'm more excited about dog cams and cat cams. Those are a thing. The cat likes to sit just right over here. So I'm going to work on kind of getting that stuff going. So a lot of the things we've been talking about and dreaming about seem to be coming together.
I thought you were going to say you don't like 3D printers. I was like, what a time to tell me that after I just dropped some dollar bills on one finally. Yeah, I don't really like this, Ian. I don't think you should do it.
Sarah, you're not wrong. Actually, that was during a vacation. That was a year ago on a beach. And hey, we should do a podcast about that trip. That would be really fun.
Yeah. That was really fun.
So yeah, more of our personal updates over there at patreon.com/Ian and Danae. Like I said, you guys are going to, I'm sure, enjoy.
I think you'll enjoy our first piece of audio that's already up there. No, there are definitely dogs, and the dogs are roaming. They're free-range dogs at the minute, so they could be upstairs or downstairs.
Yeah, we're going to likely have to create some rules because one thing we're worried about is the 3D printing in a cat, but that's all an adventure for the future. Let's talk about today. Let's jump into some Star Trek. Just as a reminder, you're watching a live show. My name is Danae, and that is Ian. We're both content creators for the YouTube channel CinemaSins, and in this podcast, it's a little corner of the world to talk about Star Trek, where he is the Star Trek pro.
Yeah.
And I am not. And so today we're going to be talking about Strange New Worlds Return, episode 1 and 2. And then we're going to jump back in and have some chit chats with you guys. So we have a little bit of time today. We're going to try to get through a lot.
A lot.
For later. Send us your questions and comments so we can grab those. And of course, check our other feeds for more content when they come in. We're high CDR.
Sure we are.
It's really, really good to see all of you guys.
So good. Lloydie, yes, Commodore Dicer will be joining us, but he is currently traveling today, so he'll join us next Monday. Just couldn't be with us.
When you listen to if you listen to the podcast, I don't know how many. I think
a lot of you guys. Podcast, jeez.
I think a lot of you guys watch the live show and you listen to the podcast because you're fucking crazy. And a reminder again, this is an R-rated show.
And we love your crazy.
You will hear then Ian say something very alarming. He told me that he was going to put Commodore into the pattern buffer, but then when he actually started talking about it, he ripped him into multiple pieces. It's very confusing. What's
interesting is that he almost had the same injury that Ortega's had, and he had a very similar reaction. It's like, where's the other half of my foot?
And he's traveling too, so that's a little weird. Yeah. But yeah, without further ado, I think we're going to. Can you tell sci-fi? Can you actually tell? I'm really curious. I need to get my notes up here.
But, I mean, you can, I would do this when I've watched a live show, and I would pin stuff in my head and be like, actually BTS. I would do it with BTS. And I'm like, that didn't make it into the show.
I've been doing more editing in the last week, not nearly as much as I used to, or nearly as much as Ian does currently, but I did some editing, and it can be so fun how you can take something and shift it all around.
For real.
Okay, I'm going to send my notes to my computer over here. Real quick.
That? Let's just do nerdy stuff in the background.
That's what you come here for.
Yeah, let's do that. We're doing that? Captain Says Live. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 3, Episodes 1 and 2. There we go.
That's why they come here, right?
For what? Yeah, for the lols. For the lols!
Okay. I just realized that if that my setup has changed just enough that I didn't think ahead on where my notes are going to be. Sorry, guys.
If anyone hasn't been mentioned in the outtakes, let me know. I can't think of anybody in the live chat that hasn't had a shout out in the outtakes at some point, but I'd love to remedy that if we have missed anyone.
Oh my God. Yeah. We should just literally just start naming people.
You are gonna love this sci-fi. I did some quick fire edits to our background stuff. So yes, there will be episode relevant-ish backgrounds. It's not just going to be generic Strange New Worlds for 10% of it. Anyway.
We need to make a list of people to mention. We need to mention Sarah, Slab.
Wait, we've mentioned Sarah because we mentioned fake Sarah.
Digi.
Because I credited the wrong Sarah with something and then got a lot of shit for it.
I gave you shit for that.
Yeah.
Outside of the show. I think
100%.
I think we left the show that day and I was like, how dare you?
I'm so sorry that there were two Sarahs and I messed it up.
Sarah.
The real Sarah. I love that.
Also, you're all real.
Badgie, I sent you a message about my 3D printer and you haven't replied to it. And I don't know what it's like to get a message and never reply to it. That's not something that I would do.
We should talk about that real quick before we jump into the show, actually, since this is kind of still a little behind the scenes-ish. We have decided to not carry forward with the sins section of the show. Don't freak out.
Yeah, don't freak out. It's fine.
You can still sin the show if you want to. But what we'll do is he's going to be experimenting with a new segment that is sort of a combination of comments and emails because we don't talk about the emails enough. And I have been giving him shit about that for so long.
So long.
Very don't freak out, Badgie. Don't freak out, sci-fi. It's okay.
It was only 2 weeks ago, Badgie. That's also going to solve some of the issues of when we're in 10 forward and talking about it, we're save it for the sins, and we want to talk about the pluses and negatives kind of all together. So your kind of fan submitted sins and emails are going to be the new engineering section. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit different, but basically the same content is being covered. We're just going to be able to add emails and messages from you guys a lot more seamlessly.
We're hoping.
We hope. Fuck it. Who knows?
It's definitely going to be a mental shift, I think, more than we assume it's not going to be a super big deal because we already sin as we go. Yeah. And honestly, the sin section for me turned into reading comments because I was really enjoying what I was, watching for the most part. And so I kind of just checked out and was enjoying it. So,
well, my notes are still separated into the good stuff and then the sin. So I'm noting exactly the same way and sin and email them to me or share them in Discord because I've been copying them over to my notes to incorporate into that as well. So nothing should change for you guys other than more of your stuff is going to get included in the show, in theory.
Potentially, in theory. I know. Emails. Oh, no. We will not be deleting you, BadgieCon. Badge, that's dangerous. That sends off a whole bunch of problems for the... What?
Badgie said nice choice. That means I picked a good one.
For what?
The 3D printer.
Oh! You did so much research,
I'm 10... I'm not kidding. 10 years of watching the technology develop, evolve, grow... to wait for the right time and the right and this printer, this is the 3D printer podcast, the Bamboo Labs A1 combo is just it feels like a great entry level printer to get me started on my journey, and I'm going to be making a hypo spray.
There's a moment, we're going to get to it, but there's a moment in the show today, or when we were watching stuff, I was just oh my God, sometimes I forget how much, I cannot relate.
I'm not the only one. Because
we relate on so many things, and we have so much fun together on so many topics, but then there's something else you're just way out of my reach. And when you start to get into the nerdiness of 3D printing, I just check out so fast. I'm so sorry.
It's great. It's going to be... Anyway, Iris wants me to print some Pokemon, and that's all she needed to know. You just need to get into the habit of, hey, Ian, I want this. Can you print it for me? That's the level of access.
I've got ideas. Derpa Prize is number 1. And then I want cute little things I can hang out of my plants.
Plant buddies. There we go. There we go.
Oh, shit.
Pinnacle of technology, and we're going to print decorative plant things.
Oh, David. Y'all are going to mess him up for years. I love it. We're here for it. We're excited. Okay, are we ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Keep leaving your comments. We will pin them and try to get back to the fun chats.
Yeah, we could do this all day. We could do this all day. That's a great idea. If somebody wants to design them in STL format for me,
Mark, that is exactly what we're talking. Like, we literally have in the works plans for a D&D show, and I know that we talked about this for a long time, but we're getting closer and closer because guess what? I just started to realize what the world is, and I just talked to Ian about the starts of his character.
You just started building my character.
Getting real. And then we'll talk more about that. That you'll find that stuff over at the Ian and Danae Patreon. Okay, let's go.
It's always nice when I get one of those to end the show on at the end of the outtakes. It's great.
Just like gibberish.
100%. You should listen to the show once or twice.
No, I never listen to the show.
All of the outtakes end with something crazy.
Do I do it all the time?
100%, without fail.
Okay.
I never worry about how I'm going to end the show because a cold close is just as crucial as a cold open. I guess it's a hot close. That's gross. Anyway.
Why is hot close gross?
Hot pack.
Are we thinking hot pack? Are we thinking about just how sticky and warm it is, and so then like things start to smell or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's gross.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's move on.
Sorry, everyone.
That's enough of that. Welcome to 10 Forward, the part of the show where we grab something from the replicator from our three-armed bartender and share our immediate thoughts and feelings on the episode we just watched together. Most important question first. What is your thing of choice? Don't you dare say a Guinness. That's mine.
Serene brandy.
I don't want to do this show anymore. Try it again.
There's a brandy.
Try it again.
And it has some. It's Sorry. It's a Canadian drink called Sorry brandy.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Sorian brandy.
That's what I said. Sorian.
No, you said sorry, Ian.
So Sorean is what I wrote in my notes.
Sorian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Know what you said. It was green. Ambassador, give us a synopsis.
Fuck you.
No.
Oh my God. So we're going to go over episode 1 first individually, and then we're going to go into episodes 2. So
yes.
Okay, let me
synopsis for Hegemony Part 2, of which you do not remember anything other than anything from Part 1. I've never seen you more excited to see a previously on as I did this time.
Okay.
Hit it.
So it turns out that there's like a belt of Hegemony that's some kind of a border. And anyway, there's these bad guys. They're called Gorn. I don't know if you know about them. And they're sort of like lizard cicadas. And in episode 1 of today's show, but episode 2 of a two-parter that's actually episode 1 of a new season that's 18 months later from the other one, we find out that they can be turned off and on by the power of 2 suns combined, like a Captain Planet of space.
Oh, let's go more on Captain Planet later.
Oh my God, this hurts really bad.
Put a pin in that right now.
So the away team that were potentially disposable characters, and then they did some character testing and decided they wouldn't kill them all. They were all beamed off off of the ship. We know Kirk's got to come back, but pretty much everybody else could die. Am I wrong about that? No,
not really. You've been wrong about more.
It turns out that they're in a massive digestive chamber that also doesn't digest weapons, and they're able to get out and find some codes and get back to the ship. That's that storyline. But wait, there's more. Pike's love interest is going to be saved by goat milk, and I can't remember anything else. I can't remember anything else.
Yeah. Lots of conclusions. That was really good. Yeah. I'm throwing up some images at the minute, and one of them was Pike, one of them's a Gorn. Both of them giving you some side eye.
Yes.
But yeah, that's largely it. It was a conclusion to. So, did it ring any bells for how? To be fair, it was 2 years ago. I didn't realize it was that long.
I thought it was 18 months.
Well, somebody in the chat just popped up and said it was August 2023.
Wow.
So it's nudging 2 years, which is pretty wild.
So much life has happened in the last 2 years.
Much life has happened.
I had no brain space for it. But yeah, I feel like the really succinct version is that in this episode, we figure out how to like basically make the Gorn somebody else's problem. We get to see Pike in a battleship kind of command station. Like we get to really see what he looks like when he's under incredible stress. And it's a lot of problem solving. Like there's something going on over here. Oh no, there's something going on over here. So there's constantly a lot of like conversations about how to make everything work together. And all of that talk does not let you think about how none of that should have worked in our non-Starfleet brains.
This has a huge amount of Trek convenient techno babble and get us out of trouble babble. But overall thoughts and feelings, Ambassador. Did you like it as an episode, regardless of how much you did or did not remember the episode that came before it?
Yes. Yeah. For me, there was a lot of things that like really annoyed me, but I had a really good time. It was really interesting sets, and it reminded me about the characters. So I guess if you're coming back after two years, you get to be reminded about certain characteristic traits that you might not see on a normal everyday, ship experience. So like, is La'an a dancer or a fighter, or is she both? And in the first couple of episodes of this season, you're kind of reminded about that, but you start off firmly that she is a security officer, and a badass. So yeah. What about you? Did you think it was a good start back?
Oh, I loved it. Okay. I loved the Gorn tits off of this. I rewatched episode 10 last week ahead of this episode, because I thought one of us should, and I loved it more than I remembered. I remembered pooping on it a bit last when we actually covered it and being a bit frustrated that we were ending on a cliffhanger. The Gorn stuff doesn't really work for me, but I kind of deliberately, my expectations were gone because I wasn't watching it with this super high energy of, oh, it's a season finale. And the season finale of season 1 was the one where he time travels and inhabits an episode of the original series. And that was it was my favorite episode of the season and possibly my favorite of both seasons so far. So without that level of expectation, it was a really solid episode with a cliffhanger that actually kind of worked for me this time round. And maybe that's because I knew I was just a couple of days away from the next episode coming around. So maybe that changed my perception. But regardless of that, this episode, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought the pacing was incredible. It felt like the episode lasted 10 minutes, not close to 50. It clipped along really, really, really well. Some of the most stunning visuals that we've seen in the show, and I feel like I say that every episode with Strange New Worlds because it's just such a beautiful show. And it had the hallmarks of everything I love about the TNG era of Star Trek resolving problems. Obviously, this had way more space battles and action, but the differential diagnosis of how to solve an issue, how to put the Gorn to sleep, how to track their people, the sci-fi nonsense around the Enterprise to get them out of trouble. It wasn't blow them up and use firepower. This was, let's use some bizarre science to get us out of trouble. So it had really everything that I want from this type of Star Trek episode, which is a action sci-fi two-parter conclusion. So I think it really, really stuck the landing, even if it did borrow from TNG quite a lot, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, but if it works, it works. I agree with you. It also had some really fun space battles, and thinking about how much it did in the 40 some minutes that we were watching it, the moment when the Enterprise is going to ram into the ship, that kind of a thing, it just looked really visually interesting. And We watched today on the smallest screen I've watched TV on in the last 15 years. So
the TV we're watching it on isn't tiny. It's really not.
That is the smallest TV that I have watched. That is almost the same size as a computer monitor.
I'm going to measure it. It's not. It's bigger. I'm worried that someone is messing with your perception of reality because it's not that bad.
Anyhow, I think it would have looked even better on a larger screen. And
of course.
I always think like on the old, again, we're watching on an older TV today. So that was like also, I can kind of tell when there's more CGI on the older TVs. It's almost like they just don't show the same level of detail. And so something stood out a little bit more. But I really enjoyed it. You know, we're really going like into the Gorn world without going to the Gorn home world. I wondered if we were going to do that, but we didn't. And that's totally fine. I think it would have been taking us too far. Like if it was going to be a season where it was a seasonal arc instead of an episodic kind of vibe, we would have gone to the Gorn home world, you know?
Oh yeah, I think so.
But it was a really cool idea, really beautiful visuals, a really interesting camera work. Well, like when the radiation's kicking off, we're sort of zoomed in close to the face and sort of phasing in and out a little bit.
All of those, like when they really hit the radiation belt and they're between the two stars and they're doing Scotty's plan, that choice for like the close-up angles and the distortion, I loved it, and it felt very original series for me, like something they would do with like a limited budget. It's like, what can we do? Close-ups and lens flare. Deal. Let's go. 1966. This is what we can manage. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but they did good with like audio as well, and it was just like joining a crew right in the middle of chaos to start off your season.
Yeah,
can be really intense after a 2-year hiatus, but I really enjoyed it. I immediately was just vibing with the characters. And then, you know, spoiler alert for the episode 2, we're kind of gathering some new crew as well. So there was a really interesting kind of vibe going on. You can feel that they recorded, you know, 1 and 2 at the same time. And so they still have that same kind of like congealed feeling. It doesn't feel like they filmed it way later.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they did Hegemony Part 2 at the same time as Part 1.
Yeah.
And then tacked it onto Season 3. It definitely feels like it was all together, which I prefer that way around.
Whether they did or not, I'm not sure. We just finished watching the episode and didn't do any research to figure that part out. Let's say that they did take a break. It's so well done in its seamlessness. And if they didn't, it's just like, yeah, this is our people. And I was really upset when I thought for a split sec that they might be killing off Ortega, but
honestly, I thought they might, because we know she's not a character that appears in the original series. So it was like, this could be the time to exit Ortegas, but it still worked. Like, it's the one character I did feel that for, because I know that Mbenga's gonna be fine. Yeah. I know that Kirk is gonna be fine, his cousin. Yeah. The only one that might also go was La'an was a possible, but that would have felt really shitty. To have her story end being killed by the Gorn would have been way too wrong. So Ortegas was really the only one that felt at risk, and they played with that beautifully. Like, her bleeding over the controls as she flew away was a lot. And like, it's not often you see people lose digits on Star Trek, considering they're in the future and you can heal that pretty easily. Like, that was really shocking at the beginning of the episode when she wakes up from the pod and she's like, "Where is half my hand?"
Yeah, that was a lot.
Did I just see that in an episode of Star Trek? Yikes!
There was some serious, like, gore-esque going on. Strange New Worlds does not back away from showing uncomfortable things. There was that person that was upside down in one of the digestive pods that sort of half of their face melted. That was uncomfortable. Can we talk about like the healing abilities of the future? Because one thing that I am wrong about, I realize now after talking with you and listening to the Discord. Thank you guys for pointing this out. Apparently Pike doesn't die in the future. He's just maimed and a horrible, like, still alive, but can't do so much because he's beyond repair. And I thought that in the future we got that shit on lockdown. So can you explain that to me? How can somebody fucking have Gorn needing to be milked inside their body to stay alive, and then Pike has to do like what the fuck?
So
I thought he died. I really thought he died.
And that's because I haven't done a great job of correcting you when we've talked about his future. Like the ominousness of his future, it really feels like he is going to die, but he just knows that he has a life-altering thing that happens to him. And it is important to make that distinction, because I also don't want to give the impression that being confined to like a vehicle that assists you to move around, I don't want to make the impression that that is worse than death or better than death or anything in that region. It's just it's different. So that wasn't the intent, obviously.
I appreciate that. Like, and I think it's important too. Like but how is that not something that can be medically?
So the internal reason for it is that I think it's delta radiation. The radiation that Pike is exposed to is fucking bad. It is really seriously nasty stuff. And they do not have a way to undo the neurological nervous system damage that is done to it. So, and also this is medicine of the 2200s, not TNG, which is 100 years later. So by TNG standards, maybe they would have had a fix for it. But even at that point, they haven't cured 100% of everything. Discovery, when you get to the year 3000, the nanoparticle stuff is like, who the fuck
figured out.
But in Kirk's period, and they kind of acknowledge that as well, which is why they specify in the episode where they go into it a lot more, that it's the specific radiation. Nothing in our medical textbooks can repair this. He's stuck in a chair. He can only talk by beeps and boops, and that's it. So
when Josh says communicating by one beep for yes, two beeps for no, that's
literally
legit.
Not taking the piss. That is, he has two lights. Man. He has one light or something. There are 4 lights, and then he goes 1 beep for 1, 2 beeps for 2, because he has to go on trial for a thing.
Oh, he does something nefarious.
He and Spock do something nefarious in the original series. It's a fucking once. This is what we're going to do. As soon as Strange New Worlds finishes, when season 5 finishes, we're going to do the cage, which is the pilot, and then the menagerie, which is the next time Pike appears. And that will conclude Pike and Spock, everything. Yeah.
I don't know that I want to.
Yeah, you're gonna, sorry.
I don't know that I want to, because something that's brutal, and I think maybe you understood this more than I could ever at the time, is that Strange New Worlds is letting you fall in love with a character that doesn't end well, and that's just cruel.
That's good storytelling.
I don't like it.
Okay, back into this episode.
Okay.
There's a bit of retconning that happens.
Ortega gets her finger back. Why can't he have a lung?
It wasn't. I mean, if Delta Radiation had taken her finger, then she wouldn't have it back. This was a Gorn bit it off. I don't
understand Delta Radiation.
If a Gorn had done it to Pike, then maybe he could have been cured.
Okay.
This is a Gorn spitting out Delta Radiation. And if it's not Delta Radiation, I'm going to get so many fucking emails because I've said it like 10 times.
Delta Radiation.
Apologies if it's not Delta Radiation. Also, quick apologies. Pike was not on trial. Spock was on trial doing something for Pike. Blah. We'll get to it later, people. Back to this episode.
How do you want to go about this? Because there's like kind of multiple like sort of scenes that are happening. There's the bridge, there's the room where they're kind of like talking about strategy, there's the medical bay, and then there's like the Gorn sort of area. And they go back and forth between each of these sections pretty quickly. So do you want to go like just like one sort of section at a time and work our way through it?
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm happy with that. So the Enterprise gets out of trouble by doing a literal hit it. So this is the first time that he gets to say hit it and actually hit something with the ship.
I loved that.
I love that so much.
That was delightful.
Absolutely delightful.
He's so casual too. He's like, let's hit it. He's just like, well, this is what we're doing.
He knows, like, we're literally going to do it this time.
I love that about Pike. He has this casualness to like the crazy that's going on, but they also really let him show the stress of a situation. Like he has such an interesting leadership sort of vibe. I think
very human and like very. I'm going to let them see me exasperated, at my wit's end, out of ideas. Whereas Picard was poker face. Like the reason Picard isn't invited to the poker games is because he has too good a poker face. Whereas Pike would be terrible at poker. He just wears it all on his sleeve.
What was the name of when I think was it Picard that we were watching, and they had that new kind of the new captain that came in, and he was really by the books and super
serious.
Shaw.
Shaw, Captain Shaw.
Pike gives me a little bit of Shaw in some of these scenes where he's got like just
some of your shit.
Yeah, a little bit. But we see so much range of motion from Pike with his love interest to having to choose between the Federation and the love interest. So like the faces, the emoting that he's doing while we're in the battleship sort of scenes is great. And then they do the fast paced sort of back and forth trying to like come up with solutions thing really, really well. I thought they did a really good job of kind of balancing between what about this? Okay, then we get to the whole we're gonna torpedo them and it's going to be a dud, but actually it's a tracking device, and so it's all very fast paced.
I love that bridge banter. I love Una coming. What I love is Pike not coming up with the answers. That's what I love about TNG. It's what I love about Voyager. It's what I love about Deep Space Nine. It is the people around you, the team that you've built, that collection of ideas is what saves the day, and then the captain committing to that course. And Pike picks out Una's idea. That's the one that's going to work. Let's go. And then torpedo nonsense to do some tracking so that we can retreat and do this properly. And we get to see April return. Admiral April. I love him so much. That's the admiral that's giving Pike a dressing down for not coming soon enough.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And explaining that the Gorn are in their space. They're expanding, but we cannot engage with them. We cannot have a war right now. We've just done shit with the Klingons. You need to be very careful if you're going to do this unsanctioned rescue mission.
Yes, he says, like, on the books, off the books, essentially.
Yeah, the standard thing. You can. This is the agency will disavow all knowledge if you're caught. It's the Mission Impossible. Everyone's got to go rogue.
Oh, it was
situation.
Officially, unofficially.
Yeah.
Officially, he has to monitor the demarcation of the line.
Yes.
And then unofficially, he has to find a way to punch back.
Yeah, exactly.
Or punch back. Also, before we get too much deeper into like the different sections, and we're kind of in the bridge section right now, we also need to talk about Scotty.
We absolutely do. He'll be all in with the bridge stuff, I think. The beauty of this, well, what did you pick up from, it's not a trick question either, what did you pick up from the Pelia-Scotty interaction?
Oh, I loved it.
They were very deliberately paired together.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really well done, because what little TNG I've watched and what little memeing I have of the Scotty character is that, you know, Scotty was always able to make it happen, even though it was impossible. And this gives you a bit of that sort of backstory as to how deeply ingrained it is in this genius, that if Scotty has time, he almost intrinsically makes excuses. But
he procrastinates.
Yeah, or just questions himself too much.
Yeah.
Like, and she is essentially saying, you need to learn to write this down. This is why you have to do your logs, so that you remember how to create the genius things that you did whenever you were in your frantic phase.
Yes.
And she is a great teacher to him in that moment. I think this really validates her character for me, which sort of a bit seemed kind of, I don't know, a little confusing and a little bit like they kind of dropped her in, if I remember, as she needed to be doing some lore. She needed to give them some information, and then she kind of stuck around, and it felt a little floaty. But here she fulfills that role of once being a teacher in Starfleet. And then, is that right? Starfleet?
Yeah, correct.
Starfleet school? The school for Starfleet.
The teacher at the academy.
And then fulfilling that mentor role, but then almost validating that she's a good teacher because she sees what her student needs in the moment.
Exactly.
Like that scene when she comes running in and is just like,
we're all gonna die.
I loved that so much, because then all of a sudden he's like, beep, bop, boop, boop,
snap
boop,
to
boop.
it, done. And it's like, it's so, oh man, I like it. I love it so much because it's the origin story I didn't know I wanted. It was like, Scotty's great at stuff. I didn't necessarily need to know how he got there, but this behavioral thing is such a clever way to develop that for me. And Pelia, who we know is an ancient being and has this history with Scotty that I completely buy, and this mentor thing, and just like nailing down, like, you need the time pressure And like Pike says, like, how long is this thing going to take? And Pelly is like, how long do you need? And we'll get it done in that time.
Yes.
And that's like a merger of like what Scotty eventually does, which is, I'll get it done in this time.
Yeah.
However, I know you need it sooner, so I'll get it done. So it's like, oh, I didn't even know I wanted an origin for that. And it's beautiful.
Yeah. It also makes his genius seem a bit more realistic as well. I mean, it is far-fetched sci-fi. When they bring pair of them back to the bridge to discuss how they're going to initiate the Gorn sleep cycle.
I love that.
What did you love about it?
Because Pike, this is the genius, and I'm not trying to like man credit, like give Pike all of the credit for everyone else's work, but Pike calls Pelia to the bridge and Scotty comes with her. And then they get to the science console. He lays out the problem, takes a big step back, and is like, I'm going to let the puzzle pieces put themselves together because I'm not needed here. I've given you the problem. I know you have mentally the tools to put this together. And he just sits back, and it's great directing as well, because he just smiles as they talk to each other, come up with the same plan. And he's like, my job is to choose whether we should go with the 1 to 1,000 odds. And he's like, I like those odds. I've had worse today. Let's go for it. But he's so proud that they're just going to figure it out. He doesn't need to understand the science. He trusts them. And oh man, it's such a well-directed scene. Well acted.
Yeah, I liked that as well. Especially when he's like, and then if it goes wrong, we'll just I don't think he said unplug it.
We'll just switch it off. We'll just switch it off before we explode.
And everyone's sort of
it's great. Yeah.
The intensity of the battleship scenes on the bridge with the camera work and the echoing things, they really amped up the intensity. I think that might be part of why this episode clips by a little bit faster, is that those scenes work really, really well, but then they also are just pacing back onto the next thing. You know, this episode goes back and forth between a lot of scenes, but before we leave kind of like the bridge area, also at one moment, and I thought this was a very smart thing, was to have Spock kind of tell his buddy, I don't know a lot about medical stuff, but I can go let my brain over here. And Pike doesn't even say anything. He just sort of like gives the slightest nod, and they just understand that about each other. And Spock knows that this is what Pike needs.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, watching Spock with Kirk is interesting, but this sort of like,
you mean with Pike?
No,
when we do TOS.
Yeah, when we do TOS, it's interesting because I'm like, I know that they're really good friends and stuff, but to see that this is a familiar way that Spock serves people is to be a really good person. And then of course we see another example of that in episode 2. But the intensity of like all of it, Spock excuses himself from being on the bridge, but they're still able to accomplish things. We have the person that's at the helm who decides that she's not going to go to sleep. She's going to stay at it. And, Pike is just like, cool.
Also, just going to dive straight in. Bad captaining, Pike. Bad captaining.
So bad.
That's not good. So just to quote a famous commander in Star Trek, I don't want my crew to be battling the Borg at the same time that they're battling their own fatigue.
Right.
Get her off the bridge, Captain.
Take a fucking nap.
Don't just like be a workaholic hero. She's falling asleep at the con.
I did send that in my brain, and then I'm like, well, at least offer her cocaine or something.
I was going to say, offer her a hyper spray of cocaine. That's all you need. Straight away, just buzzing.
Anything else that happens on the bridge that we wanted to talk about?
I mean, honestly, we jump straight to the finale stuff, which is, again, they've decided to go with the crazy plan, and there's this choice here that I really, really love, and they're heading towards. They found the technobabble stuff. The Gorn ships are disappearing into this mirror zone that is obscured.
You mean it's a mirror zone?
Well, I'm just being silly. Okay. It's obscured by the sun's reflecting light. So anything between the suns is invisible because it's refracting the light because of gravity and shit. So that's why the Gorn ship disappears. So they head in there. Was that not right?
Oh, I don't know. That's in my imagination. Other things were happening, and so I'm merging your information, and it's fine. Keep going.
But the Enterprise arrives, and at the point where they can, I guess they get past the vanishing point of gravity, and they see all of the Gorn ships coming out, and just, oh, fuck, there is an armada They're heading towards Federation space. Shit. And I love that there isn't even there's maybe 1 second of hesitation before Pike is like, yeah, no, we're going to leave them. Like, we have a terrible idea, which is leave a beacon behind, which isn't going to survive, and we aren't going to be able to use it. But there is no, fuck it, we're going to rescue our people at the expense of Starfleet and the Federation. They about turn and follow the Armada route, which I just love that, because that is what you should do. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it may be a bit boring, but that is absolutely what you should do in that situation.
You're 100% right. I loved that part too, and it was really hard to watch. But that is absolutely what the captain should do. If Deanna can kill Geordi, you know,
on the holodeck.
But that's what that test is about, is it's making impossible decisions.
That is the commander test. The no-win scenario. That's exactly what it is.
And so it's nice to see that play out. And that actually happens again with the Gorn stuff, which maybe that'd be a good transition to the Gorn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because La'an does that too. There's a moment when they're all talking about leaving essentially the pod people behind, you know, because they're afraid that it's just kind of an impossible. I almost said it, the Kobayashi Maru.
Kobayashi Maru, that's exactly what they're all facing.
I doubted myself.
Yeah, the no-win scenario.
And I shouldn't doubt. It's all getting in my brain.
And that is the difference. I have a feeling Kirk would have plowed on.
Yes.
I don't think Kirk would have retreated, and Spock would have been like, I will commandeer this fucking ship and turn it around, and Kirk would have been like, arrest that man, we're gonna save 2 people.
I genuinely thought about that. I thought, well, what would Picard do? What would, you know?
Picard turns around. Cisco probably does the same thing Kirk would do and just goes and rescues everybody. Janeway would have already killed everybody.
Yeah, she would have just been like, nope, we're going to just blow everything up.
If there's no Federation, there's nothing for the Gorn to attack.
But La'an, she represents the correct answer, which is we're going to save as many people as we possibly can. And coming up with the idea that they need to get the transporter codes.
Yeah.
So
La'an was more like, I want to rescue everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. But everyone else seemed to be hesitating, you know, and coming up with these reasons. And when I was writing it down as it was sort of happening on screen, the conversations that were sort of occurring were essentially like, oh, you know, they're already gone anyway, and da-da-da.
Yeah.
Even Ortega, you know, how are we even going to get everybody?
4. Like, what's the point of trying if we can't get more?
And I was thinking, are the writers trying to write an excuse for leaving behind hundreds of people that could be free, and maybe it complicates an escape route, but you know, are we really going to watch them go, yeah, we just didn't want to pay for extras? Like I was gearing up to be really upset. And then when La'an's like, no, we're saving everyone, I was like, God, thank God, you know, that there's that voice in what I think should happen for the show, because I don't know, it just really brings to life the importance of these decisions, and it makes the show a bit more real, even though it's totally sci-fi.
Well, and this is the best use of La'an that I've seen, and this was payoff from season 1. Like, the stuff on the Gorn fuel refinery is so much more impactful because La'an is leading the way. And yeah, it's fine. It's a storyline we've seen before, whatever, dealing with your trauma. But it works really, really well. Like, it works because she is having her flashbacks. She is like using them to fuel her. And it even gets like a bit of payoff in the next episode where she's talking about, I've always had this Gorn shadow behind me and now it's kind of gone. She has been ready for this fight specifically for a long time, and the Gorn stuff and will they get out, will they escape, mattered so much more to me because of La'an's background with it and having been there before with her brother.
Yeah, I really thought that there was a lot of flashback happening. I didn't think we needed that much, but it doesn't take up too much time, and each time it seems to be doing something different. I realized when I was reflecting on it later. Sometimes it's reflecting on who to rescue first. And she's talking to herself, like, get the doctor out first. So she's bringing herself back to reality. And because she had been in one of those pods before, it's like her body knew how to kick her out of it. You know,
yes,
it kicked her out of that kicked in the fight of her fight or flight, and she was able to escape. Then she kind of like works herself through the PTSD. She the fear, all of that kind of coming down on her. And then later on, as it progresses, she remembers that she put her hands on a pod at some point in time, and that ends up giving her all the codes that she needs. Are there parts about that scene the whole time that they're in there that drive me crazy? Yes, this is maybe the most sinful part of the entire show.
She may as well have woken up with the transporter codes in her pocket. Like, it matters that little to me. Like, when she pulls the code out, they can all, it looks like binary code, something, data buffer logs. I'm like, okay, cool, you found the code. It is utter bullshit.
They talk so much.
So much technobabble. Like, if we talk about it really, really fast, you won't be able to know there's something wrong here.
Even, they just talk so much. Like, Kirk and Ortega have this sort of back and forth banter, but at the point where they get the codes and they're in that kind of room before they get on to the space pod shuttle thing, if they would just walk and talk, their plan is to get the codes and then get to the shuttle, but then they get the codes and they're just sort of chit-chatting, and the whole time I know that it's so that we have a Gorn shoot-off sort of a vibe.
Yes.
I do not know how they got out of there alive.
So many. They just suddenly disappeared, really. They didn't kill enough of them. The biggest bullshit for me in that moment, and movies and TV shows do this so much, it's the magical door. So once we're done with fighting the Gorn, they walk into that side where the shuttle is based, into that side room, door closes behind them. Unless I missed it, there's not even a cursory let's phaser the door shut or let's program this.
I think she shot at the door to close it.
Oh, so that's even worse. She shot the control panel to close the door.
Such a sci-fi thing to do.
It's like the Gorn can't get through their own door to get to you.
It was distracting. I thought what was going to be happening was that they were going to shut the Gorn down into sleep mode, and that's what was going to kind of like the Matrix, when all the machines sort of turn off, and that's sort of all that saves the day, is that they all just come like at the last second.
There's a reason they can't do that.
I thought they were going to cicada rhythm them to sleep. You know,
Circadian love that. There's a very good reason why they can't do that, is because it would have been almost identical to The Best of Both Worlds Part 2, which is a TNG episode. So The Best of Both Worlds is the big collision with the Borg. And spoiler alert, because we have to talk about this, the way they deal with the Borg is they put them to sleep. So they trick the Borg into going into hibernation. And that is literally that's how they escape the Borg. So I couldn't stop thinking about that this entire, as soon as they mentioned putting them into hibernation and putting them to sleep, I was like, oh, we're doing a Best of Both Worlds. And it's so much the same. I'm like, is it an homage? Was it deliberate? But I think if they'd have done that as they were fighting and all of the Borg go to sleep, it would have been a bit too much on the nose. So I think they just about get away with it. But yeah, it's very Best of Both Worlds, and it's just weird that's I don't know, it's so similar. It's so similar.
Okay, well, maybe that's why then. But it's still that's what I thought was going to happen, because they seem to be quite overwhelmed by the Gorn onrush. And as much as I knew that they were doing important things there, the show was obviously more about having to wrap up how they're going to escape this sort of situation. So for me, episode 1 started to, once we got to the pod kind of thing, I was like, okay, I'm ready for this to be done. You know, the intensity, the drive. But we do see some really interesting up close fighting with Gorn, and I thought that the sets were really interesting on the Gorn section. Sets
are great, and also that flyby into the Gorn set, I really love that. Yes, it's CG to fuck, but you got Lord of the Rings vibes when we were watching it.
Yes,
and they're going through Mordor.
Oh yeah, at the very beginning when it's and it's kind of going down into the mines. It was very Uruk-hai are about to be born, and then there's actually what I thought was birthing pods at first. I did not realize we were in a digestive tract, but we were.
Oh, conveniently.
But that was the part that was hardest to watch, because it just seemed like it was convenient thing after convenient thing when they really should have died. They should not,
Well, the entire thing kicks off hyper conveniently because Batel has been infected and is impregnated by the Borg sack stuff. Borg. Can't help it. Gorn sack stuff. They really are the new Borg. Like they're assimilating basically, but they are extremely lucky that all of those hundreds of colonists and all of the crew weren't used as birthing sacks and were used as fuel, which gives them the opportunity and the wiggle room to escape. Which is like, yeah, I mean, that's the conceit. You don't have an episode if you don't have that, but it is like, wow, you couldn't have just sacrificed somebody.
I mean, if it was needed, I think it all leads to them having a great sacrifice that maybe potentially at one point could have been the end of a character with Ortega.
I bet they were talking about that.
Yeah, and I think they did some studies, which is why my recap kind of included that. I think they did some character studies and they realized Ortega's a favorite and we can't kill her. So then
Ortega is very loved.
We're going to bring Ortega's back.
Very loved.
But it was a really, like you said earlier, a powerful moment when they are leaving and she's driving with all of her might. Like that's what she's born for.
Love it.
And she needed to do it. I hated that the doctor wasn't even attempting to help. Like,
I mean, he was
stop her blood flow. He literally turned into a background character, and that
he was fairly ornamental. Yeah.
The parts of that scene are angering in a way because I feel like there's just something else that could have been done to answer that question, but it felt very rushed to get through this intense sort of.
Like if Beverly was there, it would have been, I have this hypo spray, it'll stem the blood for whatever. But I think they deliberately didn't do that because I think we would have immediately interpreted that as it's future medicine, Ortegas is going to be fine. If you do nothing with her, I bought more that this is her like suicide run, not suicide run, that's the wrong word. This is her like last ditch effort to get them home. But I think as soon as Mbenga steps in, it's like, she's going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, did you just miss her being impaled by a Gorn? Did that just maybe
put a hand on
in the middle of a fight?
At the very least, put a hand in there.
Last thing I'll say before I'm ready to move on from this part, let's see if anything else, is that the Gorn fight between La'an, Ortegas, and that Gorn, like up close and personal, I thought it was really cool because you get to see the Gorn like really kind of almost pause and look at them a bit, and their very reptilian nature that I know is so different from the TOS, but
I'm dying. Because one of my like internal headcanon things was, it's okay, we've only seen baby and adolescent Gorn, so when they grow up they look a little bit, I'm not expecting them to look the same as the Arena, I'm not dumb, I know it was the 60s, but a little bit more like. So now we're firmly in subspecies, like this is a different variety of Gorn entirely to the Gorn that Kirk fought, and that's fine.
You don't know that that's not their final form.
I mean, maybe whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I'm glad the Gorn are done, to be honest.
Kirk fought an elderly.
I mean, it explains why he won. It really, that's the only. They shed all of their skin and they just get very green, very nodular. Yeah, they look like Barney the dinosaur.
Let's talk about what happens when you get bit by a Gorn in the medical bay.
Well, before we transition into that, I do agree with you. I did like the tool Gorn and that fight, and the like phaser rifle to the neck was brutal and super metal. Like
La'an got to have her moment.
Yeah, she needed that. What stood out for me was whenever we cut to the Gorn in the cockpit of their ship. Yes. That looked terrible to me.
I loved it.
I thought that looked
You didn't like it?
Rubbish. That reminded me of like some episodes of Enterprise when they were CGing the Zenkethi and someone else. And it was 2004. They weren't ready for it, or 2003, whatever. But they weren't ready for that level of CGI. And this felt like that for me. That special effect did not work.
I kind of loved it. But anytime you have like starfighter fight off pilot scenario, there's sort of all of these visual, like, you've seen a lot of it before, but I have never seen a lizard go. Do you know what I mean?
You need to watch more Star Trek.
That was really fun. I thought the visuals looked really fun. I thought their little fighters where you're almost leaning over as if you're on like a race bike was really cool.
Very Tron, like it gave me Tron vibes.
Yeah, it was really interesting to kind of watch the shape of the fighter jets were very Krull You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was really.
There's a bit of Top Gorn Maverick in there.
There is something.
Hey, Top Gorn.
There is something. I think I've said this many times. I apologize if this is repetitive, but I have a very special place in my heart for like really silly sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
Which is why I loved the Gorn fight so much.
Fine.
Just like watching sci-fi is so special because at some point it can't be about how realistic can we make it. It has to be how much fun can the audience have because they love these characters and they can throw away reason for a second and just have a good time. And I liked that. I liked it. I wasn't 100% understanding how they were being tracked, but I think it was because they were in another Gorn vehicle because we were told that they can't be tracked through normal methods.
Yes.
The Gorn was able to look out the window and maybe see them, saw the head swiveling back and forth a bit. But then I have more questions about how nobody saw the Enterprise.
Yeah, the don't look out the window bit and the fact that Uhura hung a lantern on it as well is like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we know that's a problem.
Anyway, I enjoyed that part. If I had to rank like the different Gorn kind of the Gorny things that were happening in those sections, I think it would be the interface that La'an had to look at. To me, that was very interesting. All the new language and stuff, even though I don't understand how she accessed it. The fighter jet part maybe would be number one, though. Just thinking about that and visually watching someone's blood spill out over their.
Oh, that was great. Really, everything inside Ortegas's shuttle, loved that. Yeah.
It was really powerful.
This is why I'm glad you're on the show. This is your show. This is why I'm glad you're here with me, because you have that balance that I so desperately need. As I'm always going to get stuck in a little bit of this isn't what it's supposed to be like. It doesn't look like a right gun. So I need your pure joy of the moment, and I love that so much. It
was easy to like it when the rest of the Gorn stuff sucks so bad, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. I think you would have liked the end of episode 10 from the last season, because Spock has a big hand-to-hand fight with a Gorn in a spacesuit. And I think you would really enjoy that if you remembered it.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. They were kind of pushing off around the room.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
I did remember that. Yeah, that I was starting to have some flashbacks, and I think was that the last episode? Was that part one?
Yeah, that was the
part of part one.
Yeah, that's it. Spock goes to rescue Chapel.
That's right.
Sends the saucer section down to the planet and fights a Gorn on the bridge.
Yeah, that's somewhat. Yeah, but we're not talking about that episode today.
No, we're not. So that brings us to Batel and Spock and Chapel and Skip.
Whew.
Yeah, medical emergency that isn't so much of an emergency. It's definitely the weakest bit of the episode for me. I think they should have just killed Batel. Honestly, like I don't know. I'm not saying that Pike needs that trauma or it's good for him, but it felt like the most filler part of the episode, especially when the next episode is going to be the one that deals properly with Spock and Chapel.
I look at that moment. It has so much purpose for what the show is attempting to do with Pike's story and with Spock and Chapel.
Tell me more.
Something had to happen here in this moment of the show to help the rest of their relationship stuff make sense for both of the different relationships that are kind of on screen. So I don't mind that we had to have it. I like a little bit of medical mystery too. Like, come on, that was some really cool looking creepy shit.
Oh yeah,
you know,
right?
Oh my god, when the insides were like bubbling out and her eyes were going back and forth, like there was an intensity to it because we've seen what happens when the Gorn burst out before. So there was a bit of intensity there. I actually liked this stuff. I also really thought it was important for us to be reminded about the professional relationship between Spock and Chapel and this genuine attempt to kind of navigate that they have an appreciation for each other. They have a love for each other, and they're just attempting to navigate what that looks like. And she is asserting that she is leaving and that she does want space, but not from you, from, like from a people person. And it's hard sometimes to just come out and say what you really need to say. And so I feel like Chapel's a bit Leedionish, but she also might not know how to say the hard things. She's not ready to say them yet.
I feel like she really doesn't know how she feels, and it takes obviously Corby in the next episode. Corby,
yeah,
Corby, yeah, to really kick that into her brain. Like she just doesn't know what's wrong.
The worst part for me is being brought up in the chat, which is that there's just better times to have the conversation. There's a couple moments when they start to chitty chat about their feelings and kind of, hey, Spock, I am going to be leaving and it is going to be with this guy, and just totally setting it up. The only reason I can maybe forgive it is that there's a scan that's being run, and until they know what that scan says, they really can't make the next step. But they should be really using their brains to figure out how to not have a Gorn burst out of a body. Like, we're looking at face hugger shit right now.
You remember when Spock was on the bridge and said, I will use all of my, I may not be a doctor, but I'll use all of my brain power to talk to Chapel about our relationship, and then I'm going to help your girlfriend.
Yeah.
I know. For me, it killed the momentum. I never really bought that Batel was super duper in trouble. And we've also had this where Batel is at risk and Pike doesn't want to lose her. Like, at some point, like, that story for me is spinning its wheels. Like, it hasn't, even after that, there's not a resolution about, I want to be with you, I want us to be together, because neither one is going to give up being a captain. So the I don't want to lose you stuff is like, well, you're still going to be off doing your thing. So I don't know, it doesn't feel like that really progressed at all for me.
The idea that, and hopefully there's some reason that they have injected literally her character to survive this Gorn attack. What's her name again?
Batel.
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 That was the name of one of my characters once.
Really?
I think it means like Lioness of God or something.
Love it.
Kind of want to look that up, but not right now. Is there something about the mixture of her blood that gives a future a chance to fight against the Gorn? Are they doing something really intentional with this medical mashup, like this haphazard seeming approach to a cure? Because they're doing some things here that I kind of wanted to just stop and think about a little bit more as somebody who likes medical dramas. I would rather do medical drama than technobabble. And so it just seemed like we kind of had some big markers that I understood. Okay, we're putting Illyrian whatever blood into somebody to give them a fighting chance, but then that's not working like we want. So now we're going to use her as an incubator and give the baby goat milk to make them satiated so that we can potentially remove them later. And that's where things got like really quick, because we never really watched the surgery. It was just, we went from, hey, we thought of this great idea to, and she's out of surgery, and we're like at the end of the episode, and I'm thinking, wait a second, what about, I wanted to see you pop that pimple and put a little goat milk bottle in there and have it like suckle on it,
I thought we'd have a little bit more, but I think they purely ran out of time. Like, the words were enough and they've done it. Like, this isn't going to be the medical drama
that's
show.
Kind of what upset me is that scene was not about what they could set up for the future. That scene was about setting up Chapel and Spock.
And that might well be my problem. That scene isn't about Batel. It's about Chapel and Spock. I think that's why it just slowed me down. But I'm also not a big fan of the Chapel and Spock stuff. I'm very glad about where it is now. But I'm not, like, that was that was dragging it down a little bit for me. But it wasn't a lot of the episode.
Chad is saying that last season she was the one who prosecuted Una. Is that right? Batel did? Is that right? I do remember that there were
she arrested Una. She was sent to arrest her at the end of season 1. I don't know about prosecuting.
Well, that's interesting too, because now she's been forced to have, and whatever the situation is, she, without any kind of consent, had to
Yeah.
But she did say whatever it takes. And
she was definitely on the side. Well, she said whatever it takes to kill me.
Oh, I thought it was whatever it takes to save her.
Oh, to who? Wait, who are we talking about?
I thought Battelle told Chapel to do whatever it took, and this was part of it.
Do whatever it takes to kill me. Like, she didn't care about it. She was like, if you can kill me, great. Do what it takes to make sure I don't gorn everyone to death.
Gotcha.
So that's what she was getting at.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It is interesting, and they probably should have not flashed back, explained it a little bit more. That Battelle was against Una, like, and against Pike hiding that secret as well. Like, they did have a to-do about it. Now that I'm remembering, so she would take offense to having the augmented DNA inside of her for sure.
So and that's sort of skipped over a bit, isn't it? You know,
in this episode,
in second episode, there's maybe kind of hinted at that, like, yeah, this is gonna be fine now, and I guess we'll get to that here in a moment. But
it matters as long as it doesn't.
Yeah, but they have to have a way to make the Chapel Spock thing come to an end, and this is obviously part of that conversation. So they had to have it in this episode somewhere. I think it happened in the right spot.
Fair enough. So the end of the episode, the Gorn are in hibernation. It's a problem for another day, a problem for future people.
Do you think they're going to do that in like a new series of Star Trek?
No, I think he was referring to it being a problem for Kirk with the Gorn later on in the original. I think it was a nod to they'll come back later when that alien puts them together.
I was like, ooh, we're going to, in our new episodes of Star Trek, we're going to have another Gorn line.
I mean, maybe. Like, it all depends about how long their hibernation is supposed to be, because they never get specific on that. But do you think they're going to return this season? Do you think that's it for the Gorn? Are you happy that might be it for the Gorn? Because them it's really not the only, but it's the big continuous arc that was going through. Like, can we really be episodic when we're doing this looming Gorn war thing?
I'm ready for it to be done.
Yeah, I'm with you.
There's a beautiful poetry if they do end it right now, which is this haunting image of La'an having finally got rid of her shadow, but now it looms over Ortega's. Like, that is an incredible example of there are certain people, there are certain things that happen, war, for example, that you can get to the end of your own personal struggles with it through therapy or whatever life gives you. And then you have an opportunity to kind of have a full circle, and it just finally something is done and the survival mode is over and you're kind of like through with it. But it doesn't mean that it is for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And though it was just a really fast nod in episode 2 for that passing on, I really do hope that's the last of the Gorn. The fact that they brought back the reflection in episode 2 gives me a little bit of pause, like that maybe they can't help themselves.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's more going to be about Ortega's personal journey, and I'm so happy she's getting some depth. Because someone in the live chat, actually it might have been in the Discord as well, said that it was a little bit on the nose that her quote unquote final words were going to be, "I'm Erica Ortegas and I fly the ship." Because that's her entire character.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bit on the nose. Like, we haven't given her anything else other than fought some Klingons, flies ship well. So I love that she's getting some more to chew into, and it looks like she will over this season, which is exactly what we've been asking for since season 1.
Yeah. So I hope it's done, because I think you can play those character changes out. You know, like La'an may have been a different person before the Gorn attack, and then now she's turning into another person because she's working through that struggle. Same for Ortegas. They're like changing her character a little bit and making her a little bit more like she literally is doing what La'an was doing. It's just like she's fucking constantly ready for a fight. She will not be taken again, which is what La'an has been doing. So, you know, it's an important thing to remember that Star Trek represents a lot of different things politically and relationally, and also just with what we as people have to struggle with. And I think they did a good job of kind of representing that. It is sad because kind of like the cycle of pain is represented, in the first 2 episodes. In this first episode alone, you kind of go, I hope that's the end of the Gorn, but it's not, So I hope seasonally we're done, but I kind of don't think they're going to be able to not stop picking at it kind of like a scab.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I'm echoing that completely. There's just a couple of other bits that I wanted to point out that I absolutely loved. There is obviously an update to the intro music, which we had to listen to both times because we can't skip that music.
It's very boppy. We should record ourselves doing that and release it as extra content.
Absolutely, completely agree.
Who's over like pum pum,
there is a Klingon D7 cruiser.
Did you mean the music was different or the visuals are different?
No, the music is the same. The visuals were different. There's a Klingon D7 cruiser that jumps, that just comes. The Enterprise is like warping away, and it comes out from behind a meteor, and it's like, and the D7 cruisers are new at this point in time, so it's all like beautiful. And I was like, that's new. And the shuttle coming out of the back of the ship and then zooming off and doing its thing. I just love the little updates that they do. Like that intro is such a fun intro. I love it so much. What else did I have? Oh, this was fun. This could be me reading way too much into stuff, but Pike looks down at his command chair, and on the arm he sees the bio readings for Batel, so he's like checking up on her. In my brain, it comes right after they're talking about the radiation between the suns that they're going to have to go through. And there was a time where, I think it was in season 1, when Pike looks down at the arm of his chair and sees his reflection, and it's the reflection of him after the radiation burns, and like his reflection of that is that of his future self. And I was like, I don't know if it was deliberate, but it was like the same side, the same like kind of look down and this ominous thing that's looming over him. So if that was deliberate, beautiful touch. If it wasn't deliberate, thank you, overactive imagination.
I thought it was even if it's not, the fact that you remember a moment from really long ago that was impactful tells you that it's making sense.
Well, and my sin for that moment is, why the fuck does the captain ever say, Captain to sick bay, give me an update on patient whatever? You've got it on your fucking chair. We've just seen it's proved. It's on the chair. He can just look down, see the bio readings, doesn't have to ask for an update. Anything else, Ambassador, before I barrage you with a few sins?
I love Spock.
Oh, yes, you do. You quivered quite a lot whenever he came on screen. I mean, arrived on screen.
There was a moment when, at the very end of like the Chapel Spock moment, when she says, thank you for your help. And Spock says, you are welcome. But how he says it is like how Wesley talks to Buttercup when he says, as you wish. And he's not saying, you're welcome. And Spock in the next episode is bonkers incredible, and I just want to get to it. So no, I don't have anything else for this one.
I love it. I have some things that I would be remiss if I didn't mention them. I dislike the spinny camera. I think we should stop. Okay. I don't like the Dutch angles, which is like whenever the camera is like slanted quite heavily. The spinny, especially on the bridge when we're doing action and stuff. Quit it. Stop it. I know you spent a lot of money on that rig and you love playing with it, but fucking stop. Put the camera down. Put me on the bridge. I want to be there. I want to watch what happens. I don't need to be repeatedly inverted. Sorry. Old man yells at camera cloud. What else did we have?
I can go through phrasing, J.A. Yes. I didn't mind the occasional Dutch angle, but I'm not sure why so much of this episode is cocked at a 30. I didn't mind it that much. I thought it was kind of fun, especially when it's like spinning in and then you're spinning into like Pike's mind. I loved that. And maybe like the whole episode's a little bit much, but
yeah,
to like just remind you how whirly-twirly the situation is and how disorienting it would be to be a captain when you have all this input coming in and his job is to sort of take it all in and figure out what the next best steps are. I thought that the camera angle like denoted that.
I guarantee that is the artistic intent behind it. I don't like it. I've just got two more.
You're not alone. Chat hates it.
Yes. The more yes, echo chamber. Let's go. The more we learn about the Gorn, and I mean like specifically the like hibernation stuff, and the fact that Uhura is giving it to us, it just makes it so fucking weird that in Arena the Gorn are like as much of a surprise and mystery as they are, especially when Uhura is on the bridge. She should just like, hey Spock, remember that time when we put the Gorn into hibernation and like there was almost that war and we prevented it, and then like our old captain's girlfriend got infected, and then how much we learned about that. And it's a good thing that we have some of that Illyrian blood always on hand now, so this is fine. It's so like, put Uhura out of the, like, I want more Uhura, but don't have her interacting with the Gorn stuff, because it's so hard. You write yourself into a corner, and the only reason this is the Gorn is because it's a name we recognize. You can't tell me this had to be the Gorn. It didn't. You're going to hibernate them, make up a species. That's why we haven't heard of them, because they're now hibernating for 700 years.
There was a lot that is left to be understood about the Gorn. They did attempt to answer quite a bit about how things work. So I don't know, but yeah, it was it didn't have to be. You're right.
And I'm not the, like, as Flyboy just mentioned in the chat, I'm not the canon cop. Have fun with your things, but this one is a little bit, gets under my skin a little bit, which is probably good for the Gorn. I
wasn't distracted by that as much as I was about the actor who plays Uhura's like her wig cap. Did you notice that?
Oh, 100%. It was impossible to not notice it.
Very elongated.
And it was shaped wrong. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be horrible. If we're wrong and that wasn't a wig, we are horrible people. But I would be befuddled if that wasn't Celia Rose Gooding in a wig to hide their hair growth, because they filmed this.
So they did film part of it later then.
As far as I know, they filmed it way later. Yeah, and they had to hide her hair.
Yeah, I was very distracted by it, but only because you're right. No, this is going to be terrible if we're wrong.
Yeah, I'm going to research, and only the live show will have ever heard this. I'll cut it out.
Okay.
Somebody in the live chat, you're our producers. Then go and find out for us.
And let me confidently say that having had a baby come out of me, whose head was not like
small,
adult head shaped,
right?
And all of it, like they kind of look a little coney. I was just like having flashbacks to childbirth for a sec.
Imagining
and that's why I was distracted by it. I was like, oh, I wonder if her like skull plates, didn't
just
go back.
My mum about that. My head did not come out cone shaped. So that's
was it like star shaped or something?
Just like
drop that knowledge.
Mango shape, like just fucking huge. Watermelon shaped is what I'm getting at. It was wide.
Watermelon's a little bit more painful. Mango is like that's okay. It was like a regular shape. Oh, a watermelon.
Watermelon. There we go. I realized in my head how small mangoes are. I was like, that's not the one. That's not the end fruit that I was thinking of.
Sorry to go.
Guys, that was gross. None of that's going in the show. That's all for the outtakes. All right, Ambassador, we've done it. Let's head over to Wedding Girl Blues. Give us the synopsis.
Oh, in this episode, you will find that I was incredibly disinterested and then quite interested, all within about 20 seconds.
It was a roller coaster.
It was a roller coaster.
Somebody was altering your reality in the moment. It was kind of perfect.
In this episode, we are visited by the reality that Spock's ideas of potentially being able to be with Chapel are shattered. He's wrestling with her having found someone else to be with, in an incredibly awkward series of scenes that then result in a wedding to Chapel that is not real. And also, this is when I checked out. I was like, "This is a dream." and then all of a sudden, I realized, no, it's not a dream. And I called. I think I called it. We'll talk about that here in a second. And we get to have the first of Ian's predictions come true for the season, which is
2 at once.
What is it called? Cameo?
My prediction was that across the season there will be 5 cameos of characters, not species, named characters that we've heard of. And so far we've had Roger Corby, who already exists, and Fucking Q! What? Not just Q! Trelane! We'll do pips together at the end and I'll splice it all together. Trelane! It's this shit right here is a big bold move and I love it. It's also a very safe move for lots of reasons. We'll get into that. I know the episode didn't officially name him as Trelane, but IMDb has, and I've just done like some research. It's Trelane. That was Trelane, and that means so much. What isn't confirmed is that he's a Q. Although it's all but
he's
no, I think they did. I need to look up that article.
Q-esque. Well, let's get into it.
Yeah, sorry. This derailed my brain so
okay.
much. But yeah, they I think they have canonized Trelane as a Q, which is huge.
The succinct version is that
I'm sorry, am I not being succinct?
is able to like live out his dream of having Chapel as his own, and then in a deeper poor Spock twist is made aware of this fake world that he's in where Chapel is in love with him and they're about to get married and everyone's happy for them. He joins true reality with Chapel's man as the only two people on the ship that know that something is squiffy, and it's them kind of trying to figure out the mystery of it all, work out what is and is not happening, and then kind of have to play along up until the point that Spock gives one of the most incredible speeches ever.
Isn't it a great speech?
And then we get to also add a couple new characters to our roster for this season, and we end with a very awkward dance scene, and that's this episode. Let's talk about it.
That's it. So overall thoughts and feelings. Did you like this episode? Ambassador, there's not much more I can say on the did you like it front, because it's such a weird, wacky shift in tone. So did you enjoy it?
I really liked this episode, but it's kind of like one of those moments when you're just about to throw something away and then you realize, oh no, this is valuable. I should keep it. Because I was checking out hardcore on this one.
Yeah.
There came a moment as soon as Spock went to sleep and he woke up and I literally said, she's going to be laying next to him on the pillow. And there she was on the pillow. And I was like, oh, I'm so disinterested.
That's exactly where I was at as well, because as soon as something becomes a dream or altered reality, it by definition, it doesn't matter. Yes, they can learn lessons. Yes, it can be impactful, but it kicked me out so hard, because I was like, this is a resolve their feelings episode. And I could not have been less interested until we started snapping some fingers.
Yes, and I definitely called that.
You did.
I will say, just
before the finger snap.
Before the finger snap, I sure did. I will say that the chat is just alive with a lot of very passionate Star Trek folks who are letting us know in real time that it is both confirmed and unconfirmed, depending on which site you go to, of who this character is. So just a reminder, we just watched this episode and we're just landing in. And so maybe we'll come back and talk about it later. But right now we are operating under the assumption that is Q's son, I think.
Q, not out don't necessarily.
Tell me what is and is not happening in Star Trek. I am the professional here.
Fair. Absolutely fair.
I know. That was the most dad-son conversation I think I have ever
seen. Young Q, not necessarily dad and son.
That was so dad-son.
I don't think he ever said dad. But definitely...
Why don't you ever let me have any
No, he's absolutely a child, but the Q... Like, he's a young Q that the other Q are trying to look after. But the fact that was John Delancey's voice is a lot. And that's the John Delancey thing... And the connections to TOS, that was Trelane, that was Q. He did say dad? Did he say dad?
I thought so, but I'm gonna check my notes and just see, because you know how sometimes I'll just write.
You're quite right.
Exactly what I hear.
I'm remembering that. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just gonna see if I can find but I can't.
What would be interesting is so what would be really interesting now? Yeah, we're jumping way ahead. Sorry. We've seen the Voyager episode where Q has a son. And to stop the Civil War, mates and has a son.
Oh, yeah.
And then that Q comes back. So if we're talking about the Q that can change time and do whatever, what if that is Q's son from Voyager, who travels back in time as an immature person, renames himself Trelane, and causes bother and worry in the past? So this could actually be a triple canonization of things.
Oh man, he does. In my notes I have him saying, "Not now, Dad."
Okay,
so I wrote corrected. That down.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Anyway,
it's interesting.
The vibe was very dad's son.
Yes.
Anyway, but let's get into it. And let's. How do you want to go through this? Do you want to go through this like piece by piece? Because this one doesn't jump around quite.
Yeah, so let's just go through it in order. So we rejoined the Enterprise 300 years. That could have been Discovery. 3 months of repairs, so it explains why everything is back to normal. People's hair have changed, stuff like that, which was actually one of my predictions for the season, was that there will be a mid-season hairdo change. And I'm going to count episode 2 as mid-season. Yeah, okay. I'm going to take it.
As long as you let me have the clam.
Nope. And we're coming up on the 100th anniversary of the Federation, put together in 2161, and we're now in 2261. And yeah, that's what we're coming up to. And Spock is dancing, and he's with dancing with La'an, who is feeling much looser now. So that's a good place to start. How did you feel about seeing this lighter version of La'an, that they definitely address the fact that she's lighter, and where Spock is in this moment and his expectations?
Yeah, it's okay.
I never know if you're thinking or if it's time to move on.
I don't either. I think I was a little bit confused because, and I don't want to talk about Spock and Chapel too much, because like some are saying in the chat, I too am a bit ready to move on from the drama of it. In my headcanon, Spock he loves Chapel, but he has made a lot of assumptions about like her readiness to jump into a relationship. And I don't understand. I mean, like, when you're young, I think that that's a very normal thing, that you begin to pin all your hopes onto some individual and don't give yourself time. But I don't know that I believe that Spock would do that. Maybe he's much younger than I think he is, and just very inexperienced in relationship. And
I think he's
missing something.
I think he's 30 or younger in this series.
It's really, it's just really hard for me, because part of me just believes that he would not have had romantic expectations. And in the previous episode, she says, "Please don't do something romantic.
Like, wait for me.
Like, wait for me." And then he says, "I want to do this romantic gesture and dance with her and do a big romantic gesture." And for how much Spock respects her, and she has been so, in my mind, clear that she wants space and she wants time to think and that she cares about him, but she's not been flirtatious. She's given like the very friendly kiss and that I care about you. But so for the episode to start off with this massive assumption that Chapel is going to beam aboard and run into his arms makes me a little bit sick.
That was a bit jarring for me too. I'm with you.
And I don't know if it's because I am so obsessed with Spock that I want him to be my man.
Could be it.
Or if it's just like a character thing for me. And I genuinely don't know. I'm really, I'm in my feelings about it right now. Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when I watched Lord of the Rings movies, and as incredible as they are, and I love them so much, they're some of my all-time favorite moments that I've ever had in a movie theater. Like, watching something and just being completely in awe of what I'm seeing. And so I never want to take away from that. But it's like there's these certain characters that I just come to sort of covet. And when you fuck with them, I get pissed. And I'm mad. I am mad that that's what they did with Spock. And so I'm wrestling with that right now while we're talking about it. So what I'm doing to calm myself down is just remembering what he looks like half naked.
That's fair. And we got plenty of that this week. We really did. Very, very attractive
Now
man.
I know what that's like a little bit, and that kind of helps me a little bit.
You got that in season 1 as well. You did get Doppler Spock.
Also, what I'll do with this episode is forward to the end with his speech to her.
And pretend he's saying it to you.
No.
Wait, no, because that's him breaking up with you. That would be horrible.
No. He says other things to me, but I don't want to talk about that right now. No, but truly, I thought that was such incredible writing in that poem. Holy shit.
I mean, I know some of it is lifting from an actual poem, so they are borrowing some great writing from someone else. But
beautiful.
His application of it and how they changed some of it, like even finding that poem and how applicable it is great. And I know we're jumping to the end, but him acknowledging that you need somebody safer than Spock. You need somebody, I want you, I am not good for you. And it's not like a toxic way of saying that. It's just, you need a human. Like, there is something like fundamental about you need,
or not even just
see you better than I can.
I don't know. I think he was like recognizing that he was always going to struggle, that Enterprise was his number one. Like, he's never going to be able to really put her in that first position. That's the same thing that happened with T'Pring. He was having the same kind of thing, and I think realize that there's someone better for her that she can go and live life with and have less, potential conflict of what he has experienced so far.
That was very true with T'Pring, and I think that's definitely part of that here as well. But I think he also knows that she needs an emotional availability that he doesn't have, because what hits him is the connection of her mother's birthday with the poem and what they were doing on the mountain. He never, even if he knew her mother's birthday or death day, I can't remember which one, but even if he'd remembered that, he wouldn't have made the emotional connection about why she was feeling feelings on that mountain. And Corby,
that's such a lie. He would have
made that connection.
That is such a lie. He can logic those things together. She is sad. What is today? He is the fucking most brilliant character.
Okay, even if he figures it out, he may not appreciate it the same way that
Corby might be true. He might not know how to appreciate the same way, but he also still offered her a beautiful gift as something as a gesture of love whenever she comes off of the thing. Anyway, I love how this ends, and I had such a fun time watching this episode as a whole, that I can I make myself forget how angry I am that they are setting up this thing. And I just hope, like the Gorn, that we're done with it.
I think we have to be. I think we are done, especially now that they know that season 5 is the end. I think this is just cusping on enough where I can see their relationship now, fast forward 5-6 years to when we're in the original series now. And I can feel like the affection that Chapel has for Spock and some of the episodes where they interact a bit more passionately. I now get that up to this point. And I think if they stop now, I can buy the bridge. And I think that's the intent. I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. So I like when the dancing happens at the top of the episode, it literally just sets me as he is expecting all these things to happen. And then we just watch the whole thing kind of train wreck together. Yeah. And really until we get kind of more into the middle section, I'm really struggling with this episode. So a lot of my reflection on that is going to be very constricted, but here's what I love. La'an looks beautiful, and the person that is La'an, like the real person,
Christina Chong, I think yes, Christina Chong,
during the Elysian Kingdom episode, which is referenced in this episode. I loved that reference that Spock does. Like, the last time this happened, we had to sing.
Well, no, that was the Subspace Rhapsody episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
So okay, yes, the singing one. Yes, that's it. But we got to see, I think she's a really great singer, if I remember correctly.
She's an incredible singer. She has an album.
So she sings and she can ballroom dance.
Yeah.
I kind of, it's fun whenever they realize that one of their people has these exceptional skills, and they're like, you know what, we're going
to. This scene, and people mentioned it in the chat, you can't not think of Beverly teaching Data to dance in an episode of TNG. And the reason Beverly was picked was because Gates McFadden can tap dance.
Yes.
They brought her tap dancing in to teach Data how to dance before she realizes she's supposed to be teaching him to dance for a wedding, but he never tells her that until the end. So massive Data Beverly vibes from that dancing lesson. It's and again, that did feel homage to me, and I love it. The big mistake not mistake, but the big red flag for me that feels out of character is Laan not saying, hey, it doesn't have to be a big romantic gesture. Like, she's a great dance instructor. She's a terrible confidant for Spock right now, because Spock's just like, it is true that humans enjoy big romantic gestures. Yeah, if you're in an episode of Friends, maybe, but I feel like she should say, yeah, easy. How about you just treat it like a fucking person and talk instead of turning up with a big gesture?
There was a few things about this episode that were in that same vein of Spock was not treated very well in this episode. Chapel could have called him in advance and given him a heads up.
God, give him a heads up. I didn't want you to find out like this.
Jesus Christ.
In your power.
Hello. Laan could have said something like, hey, are you sure that Chapel is wanting to receive that, and kind of given him a check. And then in the end, after the wedding completely falls apart and it's seen to be this hoax, nobody goes to Spock.
No, somebody should be at his side. Yeah.
While after some dancing ends and Laan comes over, she's like, there's lots of kinds of love, like your speech. And this person is crushed. And how he was treated whenever he shows up to hang out with everybody, and they're like, oh, here comes the Debbie Downer. Honestly, so many emotions for me in this episode. And a lot of them are just like fury at making this character kind of like the throwaway guy that they can kind of shit on in this episode. I did not like that.
Well, didn't it feel a bit high school as well? Like that felt like a high school relationship thing.
I did not.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
I did not like it. I thought that it could have been done better, but when you have this other interesting stuff, the things I did like about it was like when Spock and Corby were having to kind of figure stuff out and use their intellect to sort of splice together what's actually happening. It was really fun, like the figuring out of the mystery. And then this Q-ish character was fascinatingly fun to watch. So I kind of have to. It's like I want to go scene to scene, but then I'm just right back in my pissed offness. So
I'm going to help us. I'm going to focus us onto. So overall, I love the heck out of this episode, which is a high bar of difficulty when it's essentially a love triangle episode that I should hate. So they very sneakily designed this episode to be something that makes it very accessible and very enjoyable, in my opinion. If the Trelane Q, whatever stuff doesn't work for you, you're going to hate this episode pretty fucking hard, but it worked for me. So I really enjoyed it. But a good transition into that, an incredible scene in what's a great episode for me is in the transporter room for lots of reasons. Like, this sets up the little transporter ghost thing that I love that in an episode. Oh, the amount of times that Geordi, Worf, Barclay, there was a blip on my sensor, but it's gone now. And then just move on with the episode. Guess there's nothing to worry about here. And it comes back around. I love that setup. The use of Scotty in general in that scene as the cut over to awkward Scotsman just fiddling with the transporter as something hideously awkward happens is great.
To see his like fingers go on the slide that's like all one slide.
So good. That's how you do a transporter, Scotty. That's how you work it. And what hit me the most, this is where Strange New Worlds isn't afraid to play. It's the music at the end of this scene before the opening credits roll. There's this very TOS like almost jovial thing when it's revealed that he's my date. It's kind of like a Friends guitar, not guitar riff, but the music changes and does this thing that was like the
Star Trek version of it.
Yeah, the Star Trek version of it that I couldn't hear in TOS, and Strange New Worlds incorporating.
Yes,
it's so playful and
it's playful
so beautifully for me.
And it also is like, oh, Spock's deadly.
Yeah, I murdered this man. Love all of that. I guess if we're going scene by scene, we should jump into. I don't know if this has got to be something that's being set up that's going to come back around, but it's Ortegas and Uhura with Ortegas's discount Elnor her younger brother. So I guess that's setting up that he's going to be a recurring character as well, doing a documentary and maybe a love interest for Uhura.
Yep.
Did you like him? How do you feel about his addition?
No, I didn't really care too much. I do like seeing Ortegas play off of him, the fighting, because I wasn't expecting the haymaker.
And then died. It felt like the Riker moment when Boimler does the Riker, like, haymaker. Beautiful comic timing. Loved that.
That was a lot of fun. It was also fun to see kind of the casualness because they're not back to work just yet. So it's such a juxtaposition of this intense war two-parter and then a
massive tonal
we've
shift.
Been on vacation for 3 months. So we're all kind of like having some downtime before the 100-year celebration.
In another mirroring of TNG, after the Best of Both Worlds wraps up, that starts season 4. Episode 2 of season 4 is Family, and it's almost exactly the same. They've had this 3-month gap. Beverly is doing something with the remains of the possessions of her ex-husband. He died, I guess. It's not really ex-husband, is it? Anyway, everyone's kind of doing their own things. They're in dry dock at Earth, so they're doing keep going. Sorry. They're all having their own time. The Enterprise is under repair, and it's this tonal shift from it's the end of the universe, and now we're going back into just some casual stuff. So it is very shocking to go from it's the end of the world to we're going to play tennis and do boxing stuff in this episode. That's what we're going to do. So yeah, there is a bit of somebody in the Discord said there's some tonal whiplash that, I agree. But when you do individual adventures like this, I think you get away with it. I think Strange New Worlds is priding itself on being episodic in nature, and I bloody love that.
I think it's also important that we remember that there's multiple characters being added into the next season. They're not going to be leaning on the same characters from seasons 1 and 2. We're going to be introducing some new folks, including a new bartender and a new person in the sick bay. So I think they have to kind of have some fun this episode too, to just there's a lift up in these different scenes, and Ortegas is so fun.
So fun, so playful.
I think it's important that if they're going to be bringing a more serious aspect of this character and kind of give her some darkness instead of just sort of quippy, sassy character, that they're expanding her world or their world enough to maybe be able to bring it in more regularly, like somebody that can remind her of her sassiness. So we'll see what they do.
I love that we're getting more of her. Like, that's the bottom line. Like, we've asked for more Ortegas, and they are finally delivering on that, and I love it so much. So we then, I guess we kick off this mystery person. Like we said, we have the everyone's at the party. Spock is a bit ostracized, goes and gets a drink, and we see the reflection is a Vulcan bartender. But actually who we see is this flamboyant character who is going to kick off the mystery. So when did you call it? What exactly was the moment when because you just said, I wonder if that's a cue.
Well, for me, it was when there was a reflection in the window. So I think it was Spock's room or something. And there was just this transition of a scene, and you could see reflection in the window. I actually had to rewind it to see it.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking, what being can float outside and survive? You know, what being can be a ghost? And then it appeared as multiple different things, and then seemed the energy of the exchange of the bartender right at that moment was that they could make anything happen. And fuck with you, and that's really fun. Like, and that to me is the only kind of species that I know of that has this ability to potentially not be seen by others and sneak in and sort of have some fun and just mess some stuff up. That's a very Q-like thing to do, a very bored god-like character. And there was this energy that reminded me of Q from TNG, this kind of like but very childlike too, which was really fun. And this character, the whole entire episode is just having a great time, you know?
He's incredible. Like, it is we're just gonna go ahead under the assumption that this is a cue. I don't know why you have John Delancey voice the Cloud Dad unless you're saying it's a cue. I don't know why you do the finger snap to change things unless it's a cue. Like, it's got to be cue. So that's what we're gonna go ahead with. Doing a Q episode is so difficult when there have been so many Q episodes. It's like, what more are you going to do with this character? And I know this isn't QQ necessarily, but this is a Q. And I loved it so much. I had so much fun. Like the way that he's messing with Spock and he'll snap his fingers and move him around. He'll make him little. It's the stuff I think they wanted to do with Q,
yes,
like back in the 90s. And now they can like mess around with it. Like Q with 21st century CG is like, what can we get Q to do? This is amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes the episode absolutely sing for me. And Rhys Darby freaking nailed being a Q. He is so stinking good.
Got it so well.
Highlight.
Yeah, it really is fun. So when he gives Spock the drink and then Spock lays down and wakes up, as I already said, I kind of checked out at this point because I thought it was going to be everything from here on doesn't matter because it's in a dream world.
Yeah, completely shifts that.
And then there was this kind of moment after where I thought, would they really do that? Would the writers really risk that reveal? A lot of times the reason those types of episodes work well is because you, the audience, are surprised towards the end so that you don't check out.
Yes.
And here they're giving you that information very early on. So I re-engaged my writer brain and wondered like, okay, well, what are they actually kind of doing here? And then when everyone kind of shows up in the room and they're all, I thought Spock is either going to be dreaming, and then it hit me. But if this is real, this is a cue because they're also powerful enough to force some sort of unified delusion onto an entire group of people.
Yeah.
So that's when it solidified for me. And then of course isolating Kurt Corby.
Corby got some red flags for me. I was like, there's a reason you keep kicking him out.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of pushing him off to the side. And I love treating him oddly like a little the bridesmaid, the outfit that he was wearing.
Amazing.
Hysterical.
So funny.
So yeah, there was before even the snaps, but then that first snap, you're right. Why would Star Trek choose to do that, knowing what everyone feels about the snap if they were
that got me. Like I wasn't sold up until that point because there are episodes where I've been like, why wasn't that Q? Like, why did you create a new being? I know I've just made an argument about creating the Gorn and whatever, like how that is. It didn't have to be the Gorn. You could have made a new alien. But when he does the finger snap to change the food, I was like, you were just missing the flash, like the Q flash. And I was like, I wonder why they didn't do the entire flash. But as soon as he did the click, I was like, there's no way that's not Q. And then like the uniform, like what he's wearing, just kind of raised some red flags for me. And then when they do like the childlike thing at the end, this is definitely a child Q. And the reason I jumped to the character called Trelane, as most of the internet has in my brief little dabbling into some research, is that there's an episode of TOS called The Squire of Gothos, and they go down to a planet and are trapped there with this character called Trelane, who forces them to play games. And I don't think he snaps his fingers, but he can make matter appear, he can make things disappear, he traps the ship in orbit. The crew are just like his playthings, and he's bored. And at the very end of the episode, a gas cloud thing comes along and says, "You've been very naughty. You can't do this." And he says, "But I wanna. And they don't realize that they've been dealing with a child this entire time, and you can't reason and logic with this child. And it's a child with superpowers. And eventually, at the end of the episode, Kirk is sent away, the Cloud God apologizes, and Trelane is banished. And I think he's actually like locked up and put in prison somewhere, or locked in a star or something like that. But ever since Q was introduced in TNG, it's been like, is Trelane a Q? Because all of the hallmarks are there. Like, he feels very, very Q. There was a Star Trek book called Q Squared that confirmed that Trelane was a Q, because Trelane comes back and fucks with the multiverse, and Q has to team up with Picard to stop him. But the books aren't canon. The books don't matter. So it's always been a very comfortable fan theory that Trelane was a Q. So although it's not specifically mentioned here, he is so Trelane. They do enough work in this episode to canonize all of that and bring one of the most popular fan theories to the screen with just enough wiggle room for interpretation to get out of it. But he is listed as Trelane on IMDb, so maybe IMDb is wrong. Maybe Memory Alpha isn't ready to commit to that. Until somebody explicitly, one of the showrunners says, yes, that's what we're doing. But come on, guys. Like, he's wearing the same fucking thing. I managed to, between episodes, or between watching and getting into the recording, I jumped into this. That is Trelane from the original series. And I'm just like, it's the same like kind of military garb kind of thing. His mannerisms are similar. The sideburns are very similar. Like, it's gotta be.
Yeah, the costuming is definitely could be a nod, which, by the way, the costuming in this episode,
absolutely stunning.
The character, this Trelane character, whatever they may or may not be, to just all of the elaborate kind of clothing that we got to see. It was so nice. It reminded me of the Elysium Kingdom all over again. Just like the costume department went
even
all
their casual
out.
Stuff, like what Hura is wearing, the casual stuff was just beautiful. And Mark R in the live chat just jumped in and said that Akiva Goldsman, who is the showrunner, has confirmed that it was Trelane over the weekend. So yeah, and even him confirming it, unless you said it in the episode, there's still wiggle room to get out of it and backpedal. But that's enough for me. Like, that's Trelane. Trelane is a Q. That makes me so happy, because that is like respecting a fan theory that is completely plausible, doesn't really do any harm, and is just a very like kind of comfortable bow in it for me.
Yeah.
I love it. I really like it.
Yeah. It really did a lot of interesting things this episode, because the forced wedding is also a forced moment for Spock to realize that he's not the one for Chapel on his own, without it being too much of the love triangle stuff is exhausting. But I guess if you have to do that, if that's part of what you need to do to kind of like bring all of the history of Spock, Chapel, and all that stuff kind of together, this is a really interesting way to do it.
Yeah, it really is.
You're having each character come to the realization. I said during the episode, if they don't have Chapel come to her own revelation before she weds, I'm going to be pissed. Because then you're removing her ability to recognize that something is off too. Spock had realized that there was a delusion going on because he experienced an intense emotion.
Yeah.
And the theory is that maybe an intense emotional experience is what wakes you up, and everyone else didn't really need to have one. They were all kind of just enjoying that we're going towards this union, and that's something that each person would kind of like be able to go along with really easily. But the three people rather, that would be really struggling with it are the love triangle trio. So what a really interesting way to write it. I thought the writing was really well. Yeah. I don't like I said, this how we're kind of like being forced into this, but if you're going to do an episode like this, how fun to also have it be this Kid Q episode at the same time, because you can have the seriousness of the relationship shattering of Spock. This was a really sad I was very sad watching this.
That was really interesting throughout the episode. Whenever there was like a wedding thing and we focused on Spock, you're like, this is miserable. Like, this is a really cool thing to do to Spock. This is really sad.
Yeah.
It is heartbreaking.
It was really
had a heartbreak.
And does this happen in real life? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Does someone show up that you think you're going to have something with and they reveal that they're with someone? Yes, these things do happen, but watching it happen to Spock just feels really cruel.
No, it really does.
But to have it be where he has his own revelation and then he's forced to be the only one awake with his rival.
Oh man, it's kind of genius.
And their sparring moment back and forth about their intellect.
Oh my god, so good. Roger's like, I guess my massive intellect means that I was immune. Spock's like, of the two of us, like if there was a brain that could gain an immunity to this, I'm positive it wouldn't be yours. Not even that it's mine. I just know it's not you because you're dumb.
Yes.
Brutal. But if you'd have told me that this is going to be a love triangle episode where they Spock has to come to terms with Chapel having a new love interest, I might have skipped it. So the fact that you made this something I really enjoyed is great. Well done. Pat on the back. You cheated by using Q, but damn it, the results speak for themselves.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. It was really powerful fun. When the Q starts going, a cavalcade of death, and all these fun
all
lines.
Of you, a plague of both your houses.
Yeah, there's just
so fun.
There's so much to look at in this episode with the incredible costuming, and there's so much to see. There's the addition of some characters. I'm really curious how they're going to be doing this new bartender person who seems kind of like fun, to talk about the drink that they were making and say that, it's going to burn a hole through you and then burn a hole whatever's below you.
I am so interested in bringing that character in. And is this somebody in the live chat do a bit of research for me because I'm in the moment? Is that the alien from the animated series that has 3 hands? Because I thought the third hand was meant to be in the front. So if this is bringing that alien from the animated series into live action, that's great. I love that so much. And I think they're an Elosian or something.
Edosian,
yeah.
I'm on the Star Trek Reddit. This is always really dangerous to be doing this on the fly.
Of course.
Looks like the Enterprise is getting a new bartender. Let's see. The voice of Trenna Keating, who plays Doc Well on Defiance. That's interesting. So
but it looks like they've moved the front arm to be in the back, which may just be a variation of the species. I've only seen one Edosian, so it might just be that they can go wherever.
Yeah, it says the showrunners confirm she is Edosian. Another change from the animation to live action is the third arm growing from the back rather than from the chest, probably simply because it's easier to film that way.
Let's go.
And let's talk about that. I think that there's just another person, kind of like Master Puppetry situation, and they're like just. Yeah. They're used to just doing it. How fun would that be?
I want to see the behind the scenes of that.
I always love watching the behind the scenes, like Muppets and stuff.
Yes.
Or like Kermit, you got they're just like, they have the one hand.
Have you seen that video of it's something from Sesame Street, and someone is getting one of the characters to walk down the stairs, and the way they did it is they're puppeting everything while 2 people grab him by the ankles and just pull him down the stairs. It's great. I love it. But no, I love that. I love bringing that, because the reason that person appears in the animated series is because it was the 70s and they couldn't do crazy aliens in the 60s for the live action show.
Yeah.
So when you get to animation, you can have cat people and you can have 3-armed aliens, do whatever you want. And it's such like a nod to, we have the technology, we can do this. Here's a live action Edosian. Guess what? They're going to be your new Guinan and they're going to be the bartender. It's not just a passing thing. They're going to be in this area. Oh man, I love this. It makes me so sad that Strange New Worlds is leaving today. I'm not ready.
Well, we have time. We still have some time. And hopefully we're going to have some good episodes to come of just a really cool crew congealing together and having a fantastic time, fighting their demons, fighting the bad guys, having I'm really excited to see what next episode is going to be, because I feel like there is a chance, like when you've eaten something and you get the shits and then you're like, oh, I think I'm done. And then every once in a while it's like, okay, so we hope we're both done with the Gorn shits and this love triangle shits. And the hope is that in episodes 3, 4, 5, all of a sudden it's not like an accidental attack where it's like, no, I'm not quite done.
No, we're back now. We're back. And this time
ready for it to be finished.
And any relief you felt from that first wave is now gone, because it's hitting you and you want it to be over. But way to resolve both things in a way that made me really happy as well. Done. Great execution. And we moan at them for releasing 2 episodes at once because it makes production irritating. Like, we've been here for 5 hours now, but this works. Like, releasing these 2 together is really crucial, because I just think that's great. I think it's good. Boom, boom, get it done. So yeah, super duper duper happy. A couple of funny scenes that I wanted to mention from this episode. Patel says, "I'm picturing you in a boys' choir," and I was just like, "That's weird."
My sin's just going to be Jitterbug. It could have been anything other than Jitterbug.
I'm now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to search the internet for the next maybe 17 hours and find footage of George Michael, lead singer of Wham, talking about Star Trek. Because when you introduce a pop singer post Star Trek's existence, you got to be damn careful that they don't start talking about Captain Kirk, Captain Picard. Like, when you use a pop culture song like that, you're going to break something. So if he's ever mentioned Star Trek in an interview, the fuck are we doing? What's happening, people?
I love this comment from Slab. It should have been the chicken dance.
That would be great, because, you know, what if in the future it's a great song, or it's like Rebecca Black's Friday? Like, it's
shut your fucking mouth, that song. I'm leaving.
For context, I just introduced Friday to Iris, and now all Iris can do whenever she comes in the door is, it's Friday, Friday. But that's the only bit she can remember. So it's just, it's Friday on a loop.
I do not know how to get back at Ian. If you have any ideas, I beg you, send them to me, please.
There is nothing.
Please
there is
send them
nothing
to me,
you can do.
I need something that will hurt.
You've got nothing. You can, I mean,
AIDS, you bitch.
She can smash my ships. That's all you can do. That is all you've got.
That was a nice little callback to our
AIDS, you bitch. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Let's go. So yes. That was jarring. Didn't like it. I'm going to move on and pretend it didn't happen, but it's fine. Last thing that I had really was the computer not being able to tell that there are any like strange readings. But then Spock is just like, hey, do an inventory count of the ship. Is there anyone who's here that isn't supposed to be here? And the computer's like, oh yeah, one person unaccounted for. What? Information that would have been useful yesterday. Like, what were you selling on that computer?
I think it was actually the doctor that thought about
asked the initial question, and then Spock said, "Where is the stowaway that you should know isn't meant to be on the ship computer?" Ambassador, let's do pips for both episodes.
Okay.
Pips for Hegemony Part 2. Not Homogamy.
How many pips can there be?
4.
I'm gonna give it 3.
Giving it 3 as well. I'm with you.
Yeah, I think
solid open.
Yeah,
solid open. Wedding Bell Blues.
2.
3 for me as well. Solid open.
I'm too mad about Spock.
I'm with you.
But I really did have a lot of. It was so fun though. Like, thinking back on it, we have some fun. So we were recording when we watched the show. And there were so many moments we were just howling out in laughter and getting really excited about like who it is. And man, when a show can engage you like that and you can like yell at the TV, I think I need to go 3. I think I have to go 3. Yeah. No, I'm going to go 2.5. I'm going to go 2.5. I'm really mad about Spock.
Lieutenant Commander. That's fine. That's what it gets.
I'm really upset about the Spock thing. But they have no. They have to do something. They have to give us an answer. I'm going to go 3. I'm so sorry.
It's a great resolution.
I'm going to go 3.
It's a resolution I wish had happened last season. I think that would be my biggest qualm, but I love it. This is so much fun. This is such a strong opening to season 3. Like, so strong.
Don't watch it now.
Don't watch anymore. I love the tits off of this. Next week's episode is going to be season 3, episode 3, Shuttle to Kenfori.
Oh, this could be the prediction that there's going to be a shuttle. I'm going to win.
So, live show, you'll get this in the intro. Because she did some predictions for the entire season. Yes, I think you can. I don't know if I allowed you to have that prediction though.
I think it was like a blown up shuttle.
You said there was going to be a blown up shuttle.
Yeah, I had to have like some debris.
Yeah, absolutely. For this episode, I think you said that there was going to be. We got the wedding right because we thought it was going to be Spock and Chapel, and you thought there was going to be a clam in this episode.
I did expect a clam, and what I saw was something very similar to Chapel's braids. And now I understand why I saw that, and I'm counting it.
I'll let you have it.
Yes!
It's fine. This is going to be uncanny. Most of our predictions are going to be done by episode 3 by the sounds of it. But
sounds like it.
I am thoroughly looking forward to a shuttlecraft episode because some of my favorites are shuttlecraft episodes. I'm expecting some Galileo 7 homages. So yeah, Shuttle to Kenfori will be the next episode that we cover. Let's go this transition is going to be a bit strange. Let's go and do some emails. But where are we going to do the emails? Should we keep them in engineering?
I think we got to go sick bay, man. Are
we going to sick bay for the email? All right.
Let's get the Gorns out.
2 to email. 2 to email. Fucking hell. 2 to sick bay. Okay, hailing frequencies open, everyone. It's time for us to read your messages from Discord, Twitch, and, well, email. I think the ambassador is going to take care of some sins from our lovely live chat. You can join us in the live show. It's going to be every Monday at 12 p.m. CT on Cinema Sins. The Cinema Sins channel on YouTube Live. It's one of those. Yes, YouTube Live /Cinema Sins, something like that, or twitch.tv /Cinema Sins Live. You can join us and talk to the live chat. And we're not doing some great vamping. That was some incredible vamping. Incredible vamping. I almost made it the entire way. I did so well there. Okay. I got a good nitpick from Josh Zero in the Discord. And if you want to join our Discord to talk about some spoiler chat and just general Star Trek stuff, it's discord.gg /cinemasins. And there's a Captain's Pod channel and a Captain's Pod Strange New World spoiler channel. This is not a spoiler, Josh Zero says. I just need to get nitpicky over the use of the word hegemony in Strange New World. The etymology corner of Josh Zero. I love it. Hegemony defines as one political influence dominating another, with the subjective group doing so willingly because of propaganda and or fear of reprisal. That is not what the Gorn are or do. They are simply a dominating force. No one is willingly being subjugated by the Gorn that we know of, Josh. That is therefore not a hegemony. It's a subtle difference, and I think they wanted to use the word domination that was too close to the word dominion, which has already been used in Trek canon, so they went to a close enough synonym. Whatever, it's still incorrect, the Gorn are not and hegemony. Now, I know this sparked a conversation that I didn't have time to read the full body of, but I believe hegemony actually came before dominion. I think they named it hegemony in the original series, and they've been stuck with it ever since. But I think you're right. It's not strictly a hegemony unless there are lots of aspects of the Gorn that we don't know about where they've incorporated other people into them. But I love that level of nitpicking. I love you have to give them a title, like it's the Romulan Star Empire, because we already had the Klingon Empire, and you couldn't have two empires, so you have to put star, so it's like the Imperial Star Empire, something like that. The Federation, and then the Dominion. What's the Cardassians? The Cardassian.
Oh, they're an alien species.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Cardassian Brotherhood wouldn't surprise me. Somebody in the live chat will tell me. But yeah, I love a bit of etymology with hegemony. Cardassian Union. There we go. Heaven forbid they did some great marketing together and just made sure they didn't all land on different names. Ambassador, have you got any messages from the live chat you wanted to go through?
I wanted to read this fun fact from CDR that said delta rays are real, but much less damaging than in Star Trek, though energetic electrons can do some serious damage. I did find that interesting.
Love that.
Especially considering I'm really having a struggle understanding the whole Pike future thing right now. So
completely fair. Wandering had some fun predictions, and for the first episode, the cliffhanger is going to be resolved by Una taking charge and ordering the ship to withdraw. Now, this is something that wasn't addressed at all, because at the end of the finale, and I remember this annoying me now, was Pike. Everyone is shouting at him saying that April is telling us to withdraw. We need orders, Captain. And like repeatedly, Una is like, we need orders. What are we going to do, Captain? And he's frozen at the front of the ship in front of the view screen and then makes eye contact with the camera. And then it's to be continued. So it feels like he's going to be paralyzed with fear. There's going to be something stopping him, but he just kind of kicks back into gear. So I would have also predicted that someone else would have to step in as well.
Or he was looking to us like a never-ending story to make the story for them,
100%. And I think that's probably what, hey, writers, I don't have any more pages in my script.
In which case,
could you tell me what happens next?
Another one from the chat was from David Ellis with a fun trivia for me that April
let's go.
was the first captain of the Enterprise before Pike.
Yep. Something I've told you before, Ambassador.
I like it. I like being reminded of those things. Because I remembered that April was somebody, but I forgot the Enterprise bit. I think you actually said that earlier in the episode. I just forgot it already.
It's completely fine. Mm-hmm. It's okay. This is an email from Paulie Walnuts, I believe it was. But yes, it was Paulie in the Discord. And I love this. This isn't related to the episode at all, but this is headcanon for how hyposprays work. And it gets gradually more insane, and that's why I love it so much. So for anybody that doesn't know, a hypospray is a future injector device that can be loaded with lots of different serums and medicines to do whatever the plot needs to do in a medical situation. You should love this, Ambassador, because it's the ER of Star Trek. You can crazing out at me and whatnot. But the way this email opens is great, or message is, okay, Captain, this is just for you to explain to the Ambassador. The basic theory here is that you load a vial, but it's a big vial, and you just dial in the exact dose. So what they're typing in, the dose is the vial is just a liquid. You dial the amount, and that's it. 2, the advanced theory. Each hypospray has several reservoirs of common medication and a slot to pop in more specific medication when needed. So if you want to knock somebody out, it's already in there. If you want to wake them up, it's already in there. Something like a cancer cure, you got to pop that in the bottom. And then 3, the Star Trek level of this theory. There are no drugs in the hypospray until you dial it, because it's a mini transporter that is designed to pull from storage vials in the med bay, and it beams the vial into the hypospray. Which doesn't explain why you'd have to manually chuck something in there, but the beeping on there isn't doing a dosage at all. It's a little transporter. I love that.
That's crazy.
There's a follow-up to that. There are no drugs in the hypospray until you dial it up, because there's a mini replicator inside of it. So yeah, it's transporter or replicators. Everyone, this is going to be Fan Theory Corner. Send in your bizarre fan theories for how Star Trek technology works. We love it. Is dog.
Little Papa Dog, do you have anything to say about the Star Trek? No, he's good.
Ambassador, anything else?
Let's see. I did want to mention this comment that I didn't understand. We're talking about how different pilots, different captains would go about the Gorn situation, like if they would go through or if they would go back after all the Gorn came pouring out. David Ellis said Sisko would get Garrick to kill a Romulan to get them to take care of the Gorn.
You understand that reference?
I think I'm supposed to understand that reference, but it went right over my head. But Flyboy loved it, so I just wanted.
It's hilarious. That's an absolutely hilarious reference. That was actually the last episode that we covered in the Pale Moonlight. With all of that guy, Garrick, the Cardassian. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. It's amazing. What have we got here?
So here's a sin from David earlier. So the Gorn confiscated all the captured crew's weapons, or they were just digested and they came out of the digestion tube thing, whatever that happens. But why did M'Benga still have his medical scanner? That's a really good point.
That's a great question, because they had to find the weapons because they were all goopy. They were all whatnot.
In the poo pile.
Also, why not just dissolve them all? Just put them somewhere away from the hostages that are going to escape.
I don't think that they're actually being taken. I think they're being ingested, and then they are ingested into their pod.
Right.
And the pod has a kind of built-in waste system that sort of ejects anything that's not a biodegradable consumable material.
Makes sense. I got last one. This is a double. This is from Sci-Fi Brony and Wandering, and there's a couple of others that I think had exactly the same sin, and I wondered if I'd misheard this. But at the beginning of the episode, Uhura says that Admiral April ordered retreat and rendezvous with the fleet, and Pike then says, did he say right now? And she's like, no, didn't technically. Did he say immediately? Like, no, he didn't technically say that. And then he uses that as a loophole. He does say immediately.
Did he?
April actually says immediate, unless all of us misheard it. He says, get out of there immediately, like immediately retreat. So they just glossed over that completely, even though they did it previously on and whatnot. So,
it's
a bit of a weird one.
I assume that whoever wrote that line has a kid that is constantly attempting to get around whatever you're talking about.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely
well, you did tell me to come over there, but you didn't say when, so I'll just do it later.
You didn't say when in the space-time continuum I should be there. I will say, again, just to repeat, the writing in these first two episodes is like upper level. Like it has really elevated. It feels really, really, really good. Yeah, loving that.
A couple more things from the chat. Sci-Fi Brony says, how would it not be in Captain Patel's file what she's allergic to?
That allergy thing was so annoying. I forgot about that. Yeah, she's allergic to the hypo spray thing. Of course she's allergic to it, and you find that out now.
Yeah, that's
Rumble.
And then just about the breakup stuff, David said that Spock said he reacted poorly, and the comment is, considering he was broken up with in song with a room full of your crewmates and friends being backup, Spock's reaction was surprisingly
I forgot about that. That's so fair.
And I had forgotten about that, so I think that's great.
That is absolutely when that breakup happens.
I completely forgot.
Yeah. I think I just shunted it out of my brain. Spock gets a raw fucking deal with Chapel. He really does. That's hilarious. I love that. Okay, everyone. We will be back next Wednesday with our coverage in your pod feed of season 3, episode 3, Shuttle to Kenfori. If you want it a day earlier, you can join the Cinema Sins Sin Club, where you get it 12 hours later. Later? 20. You get to pay a subscription service and you get it later. You get the episode 12 hours earlier. And you can also join us live on twitch.tv/CinemaSins and on YouTube live via the Cinema Sins channel. Anything else, Ambassador? Anything you want to plug before we sign off?
No, thanks for hanging in with us for a very long episode.
Heck yeah.
It's fun to be back at the microphone, and if you can join us for a live recording, we would love to have you. If you want to watch the shenanigans, you can always go to YouTube. They exist forever there.
Yeah, they do.
Catch them on Twitch within 2 weeks of when we air the episode. And for those of you who are able to join us live, thank you guys so much for coming to the shows and with all your comments that kind of shape what this podcast has evolved into.
Absolutely. Oh, and captainspod@cinemasins.com for questions, emails, predictions. Give us some season predictions as well, and we'll see how much the Ambassador will outpredict you because she's weird. But
there was one that I'm uncomfortable with.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, we'll see.
I went into some very strange places. I attempted to trance, I think.
You let it flow. I wish we'd recorded the video because you went full. You crossed your legs and went full meditation.
Yeah.
Well, until next week, it's time for me to turn it off before we blow up.
Oh shit! I forgot this is a part of our show. Oh no, I think I deleted it. Hold on.
Oh no, I messed mine up anyway.
Did you?
Until next week, I'm Captain Ian, and it's time for me to turn it off before we blow up.
And it's prepare for a cavalcade of death from me.
Live long and Bodspa. We did it! Woo! Gosh, dang it. Thank you for being with us for 3.5 hours, people. My laptop is closed.
My goodness.
Good lordy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, thank you. No, we're staying, Sarah, for just a little bit.
Are you rating the podcast, Sam? Did you just 2.5 pip the podcast, you bastard? Wow.
God, shit. I appreciate it too. I tried to leave some comments as we were going. There will be people from time to time that pop into the chat and do not know we're doing a live show and we're not talking to you guys directly.
We are not ignoring you. We're just
thank you for attempting to give them the heads up. I appreciate that. I got in there and tried to leave a comment so that they knew that we were not completely ignoring on purpose.
No, we're just trying to give you a bit of back end access to something that we would be doing anyway.
It's a lot. Oh, they were saying 2.5 hours. They were saying 2.5.
Why have I been recording for 3.5 then?
Because we recorded part of us watching the show.
Oh. I have a timer up here as well that says 2.5.
Wow.
I blame Trelane.
To be fair, we started watching Strange New Worlds at 11 a.m.
Like 10:45.
We have been in Captain's Pod brain for over 7 hours because we needed to take a break and get lunch at some point in time. Yeah. So, we've been at it for a long time.
Phrasing.
It's
my first day. Thank you, Slab. My first day. New office. Who dis?
Let's see if I can turn on some music.
Oh yeah, let's get some stuff in the background.
There we go. I want something a little bit with like some punk. Nope, that's not it.
I can't hear anything. Oh, but that's because I haven't got my system.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think I put the echo on there.
I still can't hear your music today.
Well, that's because I just turned it off. There was an echo that I was starting to hear.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that part out. Being in the season. By the way, the one thing about Wedding Bell Blues you forgot, unless I missed it, was no more Gorn. Stop it. Yeah.
I'm all right with some PTSD.
I just hope it's the end. We did kind of mention it while we were talking about episode 1. We kind of skipped ahead. Yeah. But yeah.
There was one of the messages in the chat was it would be brilliant if a TOS Gorn appeared in the reflection.
Oh my god.
Get it. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Oh, that's so funny. I love that.
Yeah, amazing.
That would be hilarious. I would really enjoy that.
That would be great. Could just distort it a little bit as well. Just like, yeah. So Spocky.
I'm glad to be back at it. We are gonna try to do some additional streaming though. So
we genuinely are.
I know. We didn't talk enough about how Spocky Spock was. I know he's so Spocky and he's the Spockiest. I loved him so much.
Spockiest boy.
I really enjoy that actor.
Ethan Peck.
He's just Spock. I don't even.
He is, and he's his Spock. He really is.
Deep voice. Jeez. Whew.
Yeah, get it.
We haven't set up our streaming schedule yet, but we actually are in an interesting place because we're at what we assume is getting close to the end of the Baldur's Gate for the campaign that he and I started.
Yeah, we really are. Like, we're ramping up to the final battle. So we have like a few loose end missions to tie up. And I kind of want to stream everything from here onwards to the end of the game. Would be lovely.
I thought the same thing, Sarah. I thought Pike was going to do like the little fish reel in with like...
That would have been so Pike.
Because he kind of looks over and then she's kind of like looking for someone to talk to. And I even said, I was like, dance with the Pike, like draw her in. And I was going to do like the whole fish hook thing, you know? That did not happen.
You did miss something. Danae and I are in the same studio. She's there. I can see her. She's over there.
Boop. I can throw something, but we've realized that.
Is there anything you can't? No, is there anything you can't? Here we go. There she is. There she is. You can see my jar of sweets.
This is where I put my headphones, and it's a bust of Shakespeare, and I just set my headphones on it.
So funny. You can see the 2 cups of coffee that have fueled me today in the Gatorade.
So much. I had to like leave to go pee, so I didn't like hurt myself.
Wow, what's happened there?
Well, you took your camera off.
It's almost like somebody took my camera off and moved it around. That's so weird.
But we're not quite sure on the stream because we have to decide if we're going to stream. So it was nearly 6 months ago that we had to stop playing Baldur's Gate because of traveling schedules. And so we have not picked up our game. So we're really out of touch. I'm sure we would remember once we got back into it.
Of course, yeah.
So we're kind of at this crucial point where I think we've got to go to hell to get some supplies.
Yeah, that's one of the things we need is to get this crown or something from Othello.
So it's gonna be a lot. Oh, bye, Marcus. It was nice to have you.
Yeah, bye, Marcus.
Being patient and waiting for us. Oh, I love your cat. Okay. Did you see the cat?
I did. Ezekiel and Mal.
So I need to figure out if we're gonna just start something brand new, which could be kind of fun, but it's so much. I think it might be better to just watch us to fuck up the end, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you guys think?
Tell us what you think. But there's a couple of, if we're gonna do something from scratch, I'd want to like get Split Fiction and do that from scratch. But going Baldur's Gate from the beginning, I'm just so fun with that.
Yes, that's right, Saruthi. That is the game that Ian
Naked and squatting. Naked and squatting.
I actually stopped it.
Yeah, you did.
The other thing is, because we're in the same space now, we have not experimented, so we need to stream so that we can work out some bugs, and doing it with you guys would be the best. Here's what you need to know. If we go live, it will be only on my Twitch. So you're going to want to go to Danae Says on Twitch. We do not have, we might set up a YouTube of our own to sort of.
Yeah, we're going to set up a YouTube where those videos can live forever. That's because that's really easy to do. The updates for that will be at the Ian and Danae Patreon, which right now is completely free to sign up for. It's just a place we're going to be sending updates. So
yes,
sign up and you can get all of the updates for when we'll be streaming.
So I think it would be nice. We'll go live and whoever is around is around. I've got some people I can ping, but we have to work on the feedback, because as you just saw, we do have a lot of buttons. Yeah, we have so many buttons. They all do different things, and we have a lot of production ability, but we haven't gone through the action of like pressing. I haven't opened up my streaming systems in a long time, so got to get those back open, update all my programs, and then see what we can do back and forth. It's going to be fun. We have a lot more of an ability to do things now that we are in the exact same room. Let's not talk about that, J.A.
You know, we mentioned the Friday thing. Iris has already unknowingly got me back for that, because my proudest enterprise is in a Minecraft world that is defunct and we don't use anymore, and that's where I make the most progress. And
it's actually on this computer.
It is, it is.
We can do it.
We can actually just dive in and do that.
I can show them right now what it looks like.
You could. Do you wanna?
Should we?
I mean, I don't know.
I can't. Because I'm doing something in secret in that world, and I'm there at the secret place right now.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, and you could move, I guess. Unless it's in my enterprise.
I love you guys. There's no way they'd keep it a secret.
Okay.
If I showed them what I'm doing, there's no way.
Are you completing my enterprise?
You can. I can't.
Okay, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
We'll do it. I can't do it right now.
In the same space as my enterprise?
I'm not ready to tell you.
Whoa, Nelly. Okay.
Oh, I think so. I have to. Let's see.
Oh wait, no. Here it is.
I have not used any of my stuff in so long. You guys are so patient.
I haven't figured out what keeps them alive yet.
Back. Everything's muted, and I heard none of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you
I haven't figured out what keeps them alive yet.
Oh, no, maybe I can't hear it because for some reason I can't hear my stream.
You can't hear it because
I can't hear my stream. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Gotcha. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Stop, says Flyboy. Exclude it. There was another comment that I was going to get to is no, I did not move to England.
No. Vice versa. I moved to America.
It's true. A bust of Shakespeare is where 1966 Bruce Wayne hid the switch for the Batcave door. That's why David Ellis said, does the bust of Shakespeare also give you access to your Batcave?
You nerds. You fucking nerds.
Let me show this thing to you guys.
It's great. I love it. I'm going to steal it.
It's a little chipped. He's got a little eyebrow piercing right here.
I was really hoping that it wasn't. I mean, I've seen this bust, so I knew it was, but I was hoping you were going to spin it round and it was like Oliver Cromwell or something. It wasn't Shakespeare at all. You've just been calling it Shakespeare all this time. But it is Shakespeare.
I don't know. I think someone just made this in like ceramics class or something because they have signed the back of it. But it appears that they also did like a copyright, which is so crazy.
What if it's worth like $1 trillion? Jesus!
I was kidding.
What is wrong with you?
The random shit that I have.
It's amazing. All right, we got to go. We got work to do, people.
Yes, we do.
No, I have a work visa. I have a work visa that allows me to be here.
Yeah, it's a kind of an exciting season. Yeah. Head over to patreon.com/Ian and Danae for more personal updates. We will release our schedule over there. We do not have a Discord for our streaming updates. And you'll need to follow on the Patreon for updates. But I'm sure somebody who is in both worlds will give updates when we go live, etc. So, but for those of you who follow us the closest, head over there and listen to a little bit of audio update from us. And we are excited to be back. Catch you guys later. Bye.
Cheerio, bye.